Hello everyone, it's Jeff from midatlanticcraps along with my good friend Ed from Roll2WinCraps. We are dual streaming tonight on this, I don't know if it's a pilot version or just a BS session or whatever it is, Ed, but it's Beyond the Passline. I guess that's episode 1. You said a minute ago we might do this once a year. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing real well, Jeff. I hope you are too. Hope everything is great in your world.
It's there. The weather has been phenomenal compared to what it was in June and in mid-July. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just so pleasant to be outside.
Isn't that? We're having strange, coolish weather too down here, and I'll toast that.
Yes, toasting already. Well, I toast with you, but you see what I'm drinking tonight? Just a regular old water. I know you probably got Bullet. I see in the chat.
I got some water over here too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Got everything. I got a whole bar stocked right here on the side.
Well, this is a first of a kind show. Basically, just to let everybody know, there's no format. Ed and I we talk all the time on the phone, and we just kind of talk and you know, I don't want to say shoot the breeze or shoot the BS, but we talk all the time. And earlier in the week, we said, you know, I felt like turning the YouTube on and just sitting down and just running my mouth and inviting people to come on to the show and talk for a while. And you said basically the same thing. So we decided at the spur of the moment to try to put one of these things together. And lo and behold, here we are. So that's the showcase. There's a couple announcements we're going to have during the show that people may want to know, so stay tuned for that. And basically the way the format goes, guys, is I'm going to ask for somebody if they'd like to join us one at a time. We'll bring somebody on the show, and you can either just do your audio only or your video and audio and join us on the show here and talk to us about something you may want to talk about. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can in the chat. I don't have a way of pinning the questions tonight, but we'll do my best. And if you happen to see a question go by, everybody just kind of maybe might repeat the question or not. But you know, is it really Beyond the Pass Line, or is it BS session with Jeff and Ed? Which is it? Ed and Jeff? What, you know?
It's Mutton. I thought it was Mutt and Jeff, right?
Yeah, Mutt and Jeff.
Mutt and Jeff. BS with Mutt and Jeff, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's what we used to call it. That's what we used to call it a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then we added a third person, and we threw Beavis or Butthead or something in there. I can't remember that, but it's been a while.
We'll do this. We'll do this on some kind of regular, semi-regular basis. I don't know, once a month. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Whatever we feel like doing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, we've both got busy schedules with some things coming up in the fall, so it's hard to tell. And hopefully we'll get to do a holiday show at the end of the year like we've been doing. I think this would be either our third or fourth year doing some type of end of the year holidays thing.
Yeah, we need to do that. Always.
I was going to mention, how come I got the Reject Casino Tiers sign? You got a big one behind you, and I got this. I got this little one. That actually, I think I told you, it came from the Biloxi Brownwater Bash, and you gave I think it's a bag or something that had like tie strings on it. I cut the tie strings off and pinned it to the wall. Yeah, but yours is much bigger than mine.
That's one of our swag bags or something that we, you know, when people come to an event, we throw stuff in there, take home T-shirts, whatever.
Well, let me go ahead and tell the folks that are watching. Basically, this is our first show. That if you have a question you'd like to ask Ed or me about me in the Mid-Atlantic area, anything to do on the East Coast, and Ed, anything to do in the mid, and then I think we'll both try to tackle any questions that may come from the West Coast, because you've been having that casino here. You've been having the Las Vegas experience with Bo Parker and 10 Ton, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show. But we'll try to hit it. If somebody would like to come on the show in a little bit, just shoot me an email at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com. Got my email signed up here. I'll see it come in. I will shoot you a key back. It's not Zoom. You don't have to download any software. You just have to click the link, pick your camera, pick your audio, and if you're on a phone device or something like that, it does it automatically for you. So you don't really have that to worry about. If you'd like to come on the show, just give us some time. Jeff@midatlanticcraps.com. I'll bring you on the show, put you in the green room, and we'll bring you on over. So
yeah, we'd love to have some interaction with people out there that might want to pop in just to ask questions, make comments, whatever. So we'd love to have them.
Yep. We'd love to have the comments. We'd love to have the questions. And you know, I don't call myself a a mid-Atlantic or East Coast aficionado on the craps world. There's people that have forgotten more than I'll ever remember that has anything to do with East Coast craps. But I do frequent from time to time Atlantic City. I'll be going later on this month, towards the end of the month, and I'm planning on going to Vegas in September. All reservations are made, so I'll be out there for the Craps for the Cure. So that's me, and I know that you frequent probably less than you'd like to, but more than I wish I could, or not as much as I wish I could. You go to Biloxi, and you also go to Tunica quite often.
I haven't been to Tunica since I went once this year. That was probably March or April, and then everything else. I just got back from Biloxi last weekend, so went on 4th of July weekend. Went last weekend. Wife and I went down in June. So yeah, a lot. If
I'd have been thinking, I could have queued up a couple of those pictures from something we're going to talk about here in a little while. But I don't have the pictures. I may try to finagle something in here while we're talking, but I don't know about that. We'll get to that. But you enjoyed Biloxi, and if you had your choice between Vegas and Biloxi, I probably know the answer. But where would you go?
Right now, I'm going to take Biloxi every day of the week.
Somebody asked me that.
Laid back. It's just laid back and casual enough. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Somebody
asked me that question. I don't know, several months ago, and I said, I've been to Biloxi 4 times. I've been to Vegas probably a couple dozen in my lifetime, maybe a little more than that. And I would take Biloxi over Vegas any day of the week. Not because of the weather, not because of the crowds, not because of the casino. I just have had such. I will say good luck. I've had good experiences, not just from the gaming side of it, but hotel accommodations, getting in and out of the airport, food.
It's been fun having you down there when you were there, dude. It's a great place, great people. We've got pretty good dealers everywhere we go, and not a lot of heat in most places, and the food is fantastic, and the crowds are manageable. Very manageable. So,
it's only one time I remember the crowds really being bad, and it was some type of event going on either in the entire city or at the Hard Rock where we stay. But when we went to other places, they were busy too, and it was some type of convention or event. I don't know, golf event or something. I don't remember.
It's a busy place. There's a lot of tourists come in and out. They have a couple of really nice golf courses and all that. And then you throw in concerts either at Hard Rock or different venues. There's an amphitheater up in Gulfport. So there's always something going on. Always something. Yeah. And then you got Cruising the Coast, which is like a car show on steroids up and down the road, and big parking lots everywhere. And then there was one called Scraping the Coast, which is where they take those trucks and tilt the front ends up too high. Biloxi gave out a lot of tickets for that because Mississippi has a law that says if your front bumper is more than 4 inches higher than your rear bumper, you're getting a ticket.
Interesting. I have no idea what it is in Maryland. I do know that there's a law with lifting the stuff up. So
those guys and gals were in parking lots on their back trying to lower them front ends down so they could get off the parking lot. They were getting a ticket in. So,
yeah. I think I put a chat up there. You notice that Rick wanted to say update on Biloxi Club, please. So we're going to get to that, Rick. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. It's when you think about the time that you and I have known each other for almost 4 years, maybe give or take a couple months, something like that. Yeah. Started out with us having a conversation, me shipping you a video on my dice throwing, you helping me. But I've been now 3 years to Biloxi, and first year I traveled with my good friend Clay, and we came down for a time before you had the Biloxi Brownwater Bash later that year. But the whole experience with craps is so. I find it so much variation. I don't know. I don't want to talk about table etiquette because it's about the same. But the atmosphere between the Atlantic City scene, the Biloxi scene, and the Vegas scene. And I played craps with you in Tunica, and I played craps in Reno. I've been up to the Northeast, Foxwoods, and Mohegan Sun. I've not made it down to North Carolina or Florida since they've got craps. But you take the three major venues now: Vegas, Atlantic City, and I guess Biloxi, Mississippi area. How do you find playing at the tables? Do you see what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say that it just seems different from time to time.
Southern hospitality, dude. I don't know. I mean, that's not every casino's all that hospitable though down there. So, I'm not a fan. I mean, Beau Rivage is highly efficient. It's a beautiful, extravagant place, but the dealers are just kind of, they're just kind of there. They're very efficient when they do the dealing, but they're not into, unless you're a big bettor, I guess, which I'm not, and you're big into super huge tokes. Maybe they get a little more, invigorated at the table, but it's just a fun place to play craps, and you got the automatic buys going for you down there.
Yeah, I do like that.
That's just one of those deals that just makes it so much more fun. It's a great craps playing venue. It just really is.
Yeah, it is. And, I'm not trying to have some type of slight towards Atlantic City or Vegas. But for me, getting in and out of Biloxi is so easy. I have an airport 10 miles from my house. That's a regional airport. Fly into Charlotte, never have to leave the terminal you fly into, and then fly right into Gulfport, which is a small airport. They do have more airlines going out of where I am. But if I go to Vegas, I have to drive 2.5, 3 hours to go to Baltimore, and I always take a nonstop flight into Vegas, and then of course you got the hustle and bustle of getting your luggage, getting out of the airport, getting to the hotel, and I'm looking forward to going. Just as I mentioned earlier, I'm going the mid-month of September, the 11th through like the 17th or something. I'll be out there for the Craps for the Cure, so I'm looking forward to the trip, not looking forward to the travel. Maybe that's just it. Maybe it's all about travel.
Well, it is a lot of travel if you go to Vegas, or, for me to go to Atlantic City, it's almost the same, but I'm going to be at Craps for the Cure as well, my friend. I will see you down there.
I didn't want to say that.
I'm just letting everybody know we're all, I'm there to support it. I think if you go to the crapsforthecure.com, make a donation, every dollar basically goes straight in. There's no overhead fees and none of that crap like you'll have on other charities. Support that one charity, and let's get these dogs taken care of. They got a dog named after my son that we lost last year, and we're trying to make sure he's got plenty of food and veterinary care, as well as the one for Mid-Mo-Yo, Moochie. So, they got 2 dogs that we bought on this thing, and then we're trying to get enough to really, in theory, pay for all the care for 2 dogs. That'd be fantastic.
Yes, it would be. Yep. I didn't want to make mention about you going because I know that the cat's out of the bag, but I didn't know how many people that you had told. I know you've got a couple announcements. That must be announcement number 1 for the show, but
announcement number 1. Yeah, we'll be down there. I think he's got me on the schedule pretty early that Saturday morning. Now that is my wife's birthday weekend, and so I'm taking her and her sister's going. So I'm going to be busy being tour guide a lot.
Well, no, I understand that. Your wife's been to Vegas before, right?
Oh yeah. Her sister has not.
But her sister. Yeah, I knew one of them hadn't. Did you see what we'll backtrack a second. Did you see where Oz said, "Don't forget the 10 and 20 times odds in Biloxi"? We didn't mention that.
That is correct, sir. Yeah. All the main casinos have got 10 times. The IP has got 20 times odds. So that's a lot of.
Well, also, let me put this up here. Clay said, I've got to find it. Auto buys now at the Borgata. vig on the wind, which is unusual for the East Coast, but that we have. Oops, what's that doing still up there? Sorry, production. Auto buys in Atlantic City now at the Borgata, and the vig is on the wind. So that's unique. I have not played at the Borgata. I used to play poker a lot at the Borgata. I used a lot, early 2000s, a lot of poker.
Yeah.
But let me remind, if you want to get on the show and you want to talk to Ed or me live, and you want to come on, you don't have to show your face, but if you want to, that's fine. We're showing ours. But you can give us an email at jeff@midatlanticcraps.com. I'll send you a key, and it's no software to download. It's just through your browser, and you can come on the show and have a good time with us. If you have a question, a comment, you want to talk right to the man himself that's on the show, that's Ed. I'm just here in my home studio in Maryland, and Ed's down in Alabama, where he is, in the Roll2Win. I was called the dungeon. I was trying to think of a word. I don't know what it is there, Ed. I know that...
it's the laboratory.
The laboratory. I love it. Love that. Yeah, come join us on the show. I mean, if nobody joins us, we don't care. We're going to sit here and talk for, as long as we feel like talking, and we'll take some questions here in a little bit out of the chat, and we'll have a good time. We're going to share some things with you. Ed's got another announcement he's going to be making, and we'll talk a little bit about the Atlantic City trip that I'm going to be heading to in a couple of weeks, and again, we'll mention again the Craps for the Cure. I'm going to look it up to make sure it's crapsforthecure.com. I don't know if it's .com or .org, but it is a domain name like that. So
I believe it's .com. I believe it's .com.
Yep. Also,
and they got the venue, they got the calendar for Saturday and Sunday started going on there. How they're going to do all the stuff. So John's got to get busy. He's got 31 days.
Yeah, I talked to him. I talked to John. We don't talk as often as we once did. That's John from Pro Craps over at Casino Gaming TV. We talked today for about an hour and a half. It was good to catch up with him. We talked about all kinds of things. Talked about our families, our health, the YouTube craps community, the YouTube in general, and you and I have the same philosophy on the craps YouTube stuff now. I mean, you're busy with the Casino Tiers podcast with 10 ton, and of course you've got the experiences going with the bow and 10 ton. But I had an opportunity to really catch up with John, and that was nice because I don't get to talk to him as often as I once did. Clay says that Harrah's 5 times game you can lay down odds on a $15 table as if it was a $25 table. I did not know that either. Look at that. I'm learning things. Interesting. That's very interesting. Go say hello to some folks here while we're here. Once again, hopefully somebody's going to send us an email and join us. We've got Sweet Lou coming on both channels. By the way, we're dual streaming, so if you're in one of our channels and you don't see some of the chats there, don't freak out. We got Ed Roll2Win, who's got the captive audience over there, and I've got me over here at the Mid-Atlantic Craps. Ed did a little bit of promotion on his side, so just say hello to us on either side. Click the thumbs up button. We'd appreciate it. But Lou's here with us. I got Frank from New Jersey who wants to know how I'm doing. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, Frank. Hopefully. Clay Hall, East Coast Craps. We have Arnell with us from Dice Grinders. Arnell, I caught a little bit of that show today, and it's a unique show that Arnell is doing. And although this is not specifically a YouTube show, I think the concept of what Arnell is doing over there, I'd like to talk to him a little more in general. I've kind of been out of the YouTube world for almost a year now. It's not as much as I did before. Got Anthony. We got 2 Anthonys. We got the Anthony that you know, and we have the Anthony Popo that came the first year of the Brownwater Bash. So there's 2 Anthonys from the East Coast being represented here tonight. Who else do I have over here? I saw somebody else on my side. Brian P. Duracell. Matt's with us tonight. Sarge. There's your good buddy. Sarge is with us tonight.
Hey, Sarge. Anthony, all you guys.
Yep. Yeah, so that's good. We got Huggy Bear with us. 60. Oh, see, it's he or she. I don't know whether that's a he or she. I'm gonna say it's a he. Remember the old show that had Huggy Bear on it? What was that? What was the name of that show that had? Oh man, that's what came to my mind. It'll come to me with the 2 cops. Oh my gosh, somebody will put it in chat. But 65 watching across both channels. Those are good numbers. We like that. Over on your side, oh my gosh, Ed, you've got like probably 60 of the 65 watching. We got Bootlegger, who's with us tonight, wanting to know if you had the bullet bottle in bond. I'm not sure what that means. I know what the bullet bottle is.
Somebody gave that to me at the Brownwater Bash, and I have bought a lot of it since that time, and it's one of my favorites. I can't recommend that enough.
All right, let's see. We also have Stoney over there with you. Stoney's over there on your side of the channel. John, who's out on he put it out that he was out on a cruise on, I think it was a Princess, but he has a comment here. I'm having a hot roll along at the table. A gentleman comes up and throws $200 in the buy-in during the middle of the roll with a puck on. To make matters even worse, the gentleman doesn't even bet. Oh man, we've covered that numerous times. John, I can tell you, I've been there, and you got to have Clay at the table to take care of that one. Lewin on your side as well.
Needs Clay on the table to get that fixed. Yep. He needs Clay on the table to get that one fixed.
Yep, he does. And Scotty Free, Scotty's with us tonight. And Tim Creasy. Hey, Tim, nice to see you. And Oz, we already put Oz up there a little while ago. Yep. Let's see. And then Biff's with us every day, twice on Sunday. I'm not sure what that was. And look, our good friend Cadillac Jack. Auto Buys is a great buy for sure. Jack's with us. We got Victor with us, and Huggy Bear on your side as well. Oh, look. We got Lee. We got the doctor himself. Dr. Yank is watching us over on your channel. I was really hoping to see him at the end of the month, but I understand now little birdie tells me he may not be coming east, and now my video just skipped. Victor sent you a $1.49 super chat on your side. I don't know if you
thank
saw
you,
that
Victor.
or not.
No, I did not. Thank you, Victor.
Yep, we got C. Rickerson. And look, your good friend John, Mudslide Mac, is with us tonight. Always good to see them. Don Stanley. I don't know if do I know him, Ed? Do you know him?
Didn't he play with? No, that was Kiss. Never mind.
Yeah, we got Joe, Craps Master Journey. He's got a YouTube channel, Craps Master Journey, as a matter of fact, Joe Jonas. Joe just recently got married and went on this wonderful trip overseas that I was just envy on. Starsky and Hutch, that's the name. Huggy Bear, Starsky and Hutch. Ed, I told you somebody would put that in there. And then Tim Bruno is with us.
Huggy Bear.
Yeah, so hello to everybody that's out there, and if you're out there watching, listening, say hello to us in chat. I'm still watching my emails. I'm looking for somebody to come on with us. Jeff at midatlanticcraps.com. I send you a key. You'll get on, and you can talk with us.
Yeah, don't be bashful.
No,
don't be bashful.
No, don't be bashful. Hey, Dustin, welcome to the show. Anybody got a question? Look, if you got a question, please spin it in a capital Q. And I don't have a way to queue it like I do on other shows, but I can go back and we'll ask the questions as they come up. We'll talk about them. You can ask me a question. You can ask Ed a question. You can add if you want the experience of an experienced craps player, and you want a genuine question that could be answered much better than I could, Ed will answer it. But if you got a question about where we play and table conditions and where to stay, East Coast and in the Biloxi, Mississippi area, and we'd like to have a couple people. Somebody put in here, I scrolled past it, talked about either Illinois or Chicago casino. I have to go back and look at that. That's what's that. Look, our first question: what do you do when you notice you're double pitching? There you go, Ed. Lost your audio, Ed. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I've lost your audio, Ed. We'll get back to that. Ed, go ahead and try to fix your audio that's on there. We'll come back. That happens with this stuff. And Joe says it was a great trip. Joe, I saw the pictures. I enjoyed, I guess, almost day by day what you did. I really haven't had an opportunity to talk to you. You and I should probably touch base and talk. Ed, I still don't have any audio, but it's it was the pictures and the scenic portion of that, Joe, was just wonderful. Still waiting for Ed to fix his audio. He may have to log out and log back in. I'm not sure. Hey, David's with us. David, I hope I see you in a couple of weeks. That's Gypsy. He's up in New York too. He's one of the guys from New York that doesn't have that strong New York accent. Anthony, they are coming up. We're gonna. Yep. Go ahead, Ed. Say something. Yep, Ed's back now.
Anthony, make sure you have me now.
Yep, we'll cover the Brownwater Bash dates as long as additional information and some more dates in the show. Just hang in there.
He is assuming that we're going to have one next year.
I think the cat's
Don't get ahead of your skis there, Anthony. Don't get ahead of your skis there, dude. I told you last year there wasn't no more.
Oh, there's the question, Ed. What do you do when you notice that you're double pitching?
I might just switch to the all 7 set. Bet the hard ways. That'd be a simple fix, wouldn't it?
Without making an adjustment to your dice. I mean, to your actual throw. Yeah, I think that would be.
I mean, why wouldn't that be a good idea? Why wouldn't that be a good idea?
Well, see, that's why you're the experienced one, because I would have tried to fix it instead of do what you just said. I would have tried to fix it.
Embrace it. If I'm not single pitching, or if I'm not getting primaries, I'm getting one die off axis. If I'm getting double pitches, I might as well throw the all 7 and just make some money. Bet the hard ways. Go with it. I
understand. I mean, that makes sense. See, that's why you're the experienced one, and you gave the simple answer. I would have come, as my ex-wife would have said. You explained it too much there, Lucy. You gotta sort of get back to that. So
on the at home kind of a thing, practicing. I mean, it's uneven pressure on your dice, and you're not getting enough pressure on both dice, whether you're using 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger, whatever you're using. It's caused by that, and then maybe just a little bit of roll on the release will cause it too.
All right, question from Arnell. I think we're going to cover this. We might have to get to it since we've had a couple questions, Ed. What's the setup on the Biloxi Ed's doing and the clubhouse or something? So you want to go ahead and do that now, or do you want to wait a little while longer?
No, I'm not ready.
Always string them along. That's what I say. String them along. We'll get to it, Arnell. That's actually, we have a slide presentation all set up, with the exception of, I didn't think enough to get pictures. I may try to do that here.
If you can get pictures, that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say this. I've got 2 Vegas trips planned in September and October, and I'm going down for the Craps for the Cure. I'm coming back for about right at 2 weeks. Then I'm going straight back because we've got the Casino Tiers event in Las Vegas, and that's been sold out for 6 months, almost. I mean, 3 months at least. I mean, it's been sold out since we put it on the calendar, seems like. So, yeah. I mean, we only take 8 people per day maximum. We prefer 7, but we will take 8, and we've been sold out.
Do you remember when we first started talking about that experience, the Vegas experience, and you were worried about having the first day fill up with 8 people, let alone a second day, and now sometimes even more than that now? What did I tell you when you told me about that idea? Did I not tell you that you'll not only fill up, you'll fill up for the following shows?
You were quite prophetic. You were quite prophetic. It has been really humbling, for me. I mean, we can talk about it later, but I mean, the speed at which these start to sell out has been incredible.
Yep.
And of course, they're all going to see Bo and 10 Ton. They're not going to see me. I'm just telling you.
I don't know about that.
We have a good time. We have a great time.
Bo's a legend in his own. You're a legend. I'm just a legend in my own mind, and I think 10 Ton is becoming a legend there in the Vegas scene. Man, I was talking with him a week or so ago, and I play like crackerjack size craps compared to what he plays.
Oh, yeah. We all do.
It's just incredible. Another super chat on your side of the things there, Ed. Thank you very much.
Camper's one of our attendees at the Vegas event before.
No, you're never late. You can always go back and rewatch. We don't care what channel it is. You can watch it on either channel. Just click the thumbs up, tells you here. Durso, Jeff at midatlanticcraps.com. JEFF at midatlanticcraps.com, all one word. I'm waiting for my email to come in. I'll send you a code. If you're going to do it yourself, Matt, you know the routine because I hosted one of your qualifiers last year.
I'd love to have Durso in here.
Yep, he's a great guy. I haven't met him yet. I've always said I'm going to go down to the North Carolina area. one of the two casinos there. And then I was scheduled to go last November, but of course, the devastation of the hurricane that came through and the flooding, I just didn't get there. I know they've opened another one that's in another casino that's kind of small, and I'm not going to talk about the actual interactions with it, but I've had a couple people say they played there. It's one table and really low stakes. But Matt, if you want to get on, I'm looking at my emails. Just wait. Let me refresh this. Maybe somebody did send me an email and I didn't see it. Nope, no email yet. Jeff at midatlanticcraps.com. Let me see up here. That was one too. Oh, somebody talking about card craps. I don't even want to talk about that. Puckov, I'll get to your question. Let me get this one here by our good friend Sarge Guy, who's also a YouTuber. He says, I rarely use hop bets, but what are some of the ways to use your hops? Now, I know, Ed, I don't want to give it away. I saw you do it 3 or 4 times when you're either maxed out or you see somebody nailing those inside numbers. Tell us about the hops.
Well, number one, one of the best uses for the hops is if you've got a highly pressed up number that's a hot number. You got a really hot number and you don't want to waste a roll. I mean, I've seen a guy one time in Biloxi have a $5,000 4 and the point was 5. He made the point of 5, set the point of 4 and never hit the 4 again. So he wasted that 4. That's why I bring that up. So you don't ever want to waste a hot number. If you've got a number that's rolling hot, hop it on the come out. That way you always got that one hot number working, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's my favorite way to use them. The other thing I will do, if, like we talked about before, if you're double pitching, hop the hard ways for a nickel each or something on the come out. Especially if you've been hitting them intermittently during your roll, I will hop the hard ways only, $20, whatever. Good little bet. Good return on your bet when you hit it.
Yeah, Ed, I saw you do that. I think we were first or second time I was down to Biloxi. It could have been you throwing the dice. I honestly don't remember. I don't know that you had the 6 or 8 maxed out at house at a max bet.
No, we weren't that high. We weren't that high.
You had a decent bet, and on the come out, you threw a large amount of money on the 6 and the 8 for a hop, but it caught my attention when you did it that time. And then, of course, you hit it, or whoever was shooting hit it, and you were happy to see that. But you weren't going to miss an opportunity on a hot number that was the come out that you had all your other bets off on. Instead of just turning the 6 or the 8 on, you hopped it, and I thought that was very unique.
The most extreme version I've ever had of this happened in March when I was in Vegas. And my buddy 10 Ton was shooting, and he'd been nailing 6s, just absolutely murdering 6s. But the point was, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something like that. And I threw $50 out there on the hop 6s. He immediately threw a 6. I went max odds on my Passline bet, left the hops up, working. Did not bring my hops down. He threw a 6 back to back. It was a 4-2, 4-2 both times. All right, so I pressed my hops to $50 each. He threw another 4-2.
Yep.
I mean, and then hit it again, right back. And I mean, it's just like a super ATM machine when something like that happens. It doesn't happen very often, but he caught 4 of my hops, and I pressed the hops 3 of those times. Then he missed the 6, which lost my hops, but I still had max odds going. And then he threw another 6. So I missed one, but something like that, that's when you really want to for me, that's when you want to use hops. Now you've got other people who will say if you're hitting uptown and you're hitting 6 dominants on numbers or something like that, or 1 dominance, then hop, the numbers have got 6s in them or something like that. But you can get spread out, and you can go all the way back to Chris from Sideshow Gamble and that little deal that y'all used to do way back in the day, even, right? Because you've done that, Jeff. I've seen you do it.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's all that. You throw the inside easies is what they call it. Hopping the inside easies, and there was a time we were in Atlantic City. I'll tell the story real quick. Our good friend Ted Berry, we all were hopping inside easies. So Ted came around and said, to save it, just tell me when you're in on it, and we'll all hop it. So, instead of hopping it for, $40 or $80, we were going $400 and $800 on the hard ways on the hops. And of course, we reached the max bet and we cut down, but people had to scream out there how many people wanted. It actually made the game go faster. And then Ted would just pay you afterwards. I mean, just something.
Right.
Matt, I did get the email. I don't know if you want me to use it or you want to join the show and talk about it. I don't know that I'm set up for that format to be able to ship that into the show, but I'm going to work on it. I did watch the very first one. Let's go on and look. Here's your good friend Old Spice.
There he is. I smell pine trees.
I saw a couple more questions come in. Dustin, any ratio on the hop wager to a max wager bet? Oops, let me get that up there. There you go. Sorry, covered itself up.
That's a really good question, and I just kind of go by the feel. I like quarters. If I'm only hopping one number, hop it hard and hop it the easy way. I mean, think about the hops. Let's talk about the hops real quick. How many ways are there roll 5, Jeff?
The 5? Well, you got the two ways, but you can think about it. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you got a 2-3, you got a 1-4.
Yep.
A 2-3, a 3-2, and a 4-1. So there's 4 ways to throw it.
Yep.
But on the hops, on the felt, they're only making you bet 2 of those ways. Right?
Yep.
So that's kind of an advantage if you're a shooter. And you're really, really you're spot on with what you're hitting. You're getting 2 free bets for the price of 2. You're getting 4 for the price of 2. That's the way I look at it.
Dustin kind of followed his question up, or bankroll maybe profit. I think that goes to the other question. I'm not exactly sure. Did I miss something there? But, I've seen the hops used on come out. I've seen the hops used during the game, and I don't play the hops very, very, very seldom. As you know, I don't even do the hard ways. How many times have you seen me and we played together? You guys have escalated to a quarter on all the hard ways, and I say, you know what? I think I'm gonna get in on this. Here, dealer, here's $20. Put me $5 on all the hard ways. Typically, I throw them a quarter and say, put the 5 wherever you want to put it. But I don't.
I've seen you do that.
I don't play the center action that often. I do have a come out game that I get to, and a couple people have said, when you hit 3 or 4 craps numbers, starting with a $5 craps bet, and you get paid $4.25 on the 3rd or 4th one, that's sweet. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often enough. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's sweet.
That third one's hard to hit.
It is. Yep, it is. It is hard to hit. Puckoff says, how do you determine table hardness?
Everybody's got a different definition. They've got a personal definition, I guess. Listen to the dice. Does it sound like they just hit a concrete floor? Clack. That's a hard table. If you hear a muffled bounce, that's probably going to have some bounce to it. And if you don't hear anything, it's going to be real bouncy. So I listen to dice at new tables that I had never played before, just to kind of get an idea on whether they want to buy in on that table. But, you make that first throw. I mean, you only get one mulligan. That's the come out roll.
That's correct.
You know pretty quick. You hit your normal distance from the wall, and if they don't act like they normally do, you got a different type of table than what you're used to. So you're going to have to adjust real quick. But the sound is the main thing, I believe.
I agree, and I would said that question should be answered by you. But here on my table, I don't know if you have your table set up like this. It's bouncy on one end and semi-hard on the other end, only because of the condition that's underneath the table when I bought it used. But other than that, I have a bouncy one because you seem to be playing more on bouncy tables. Going back to the come out action you talked about, that you only get one mulligan. A question of mine for you.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a long hand and never hit a point, or would you rather have multiple points and get paid out? How would you? I don't know if I said that question right.
How long a hand you gonna let me toss, bud?
I mean, you could toss for as long as you want, but there's some people that don't like to hit the points because of the payout. You know, the payout that comes around the opposite way of how they pay. They got to reach across, pay the odds, pay the line, and stick to base to stick, depending upon whether it's a point made or not.
If I'm in Mississippi and I got 10 times odds, what do you think I want?
Well, I know what you want. No, I got it. I was just curious if just somebody asked me that question, and I've had several people.
I always shoot for the point. I always want to hit that point because I've generally got big odds on it at least the first 3 or 4 throws. If I hadn't hit that point in 3 or 4 throws, then I'll start reducing the odds back down to like 2 times or something. But would I rather have points or long throws? If I don't have any craps numbers in those long throws, I probably can get on up there and it doesn't really matter. But points are nice.
Right. Arnell and Clay just put their comments in about how they determine a hard table. You guys can take a look at that from a rating point. And no, Clay, I'm not going to put the comment you put up there about the woman. I'm not going to do that. This is a family show. Next question kind of goes along the same way. How do you handle a choppy table? Being new to the game, a couple of short roll losers gets me nervous about the table going cold. Then I wait and don't catch a good roll soon enough.
Well, put that back up there real quick.
Sure.
Being new to the game, a couple of short roll losers gets me nervous about the table going cold. That's the thing. You're nervous about the table getting cold, so then you're afraid to play your game, right? So you've got to have a game where you've got to assume the table's cold when you walk up to it and then catch the long roll. You've got to have some kind of way to barely stick the toe in to the water. See if it's going to be warm or cold. You're going to assume you're going to walk up to a cold table. You should assume you're walking up to a cold table. Every shooter is independent of the other shooter. So there's going to be PSOs galore, and there's going to be short rolls galore, and then somebody's going to throw a 40 roll. So always assume you're stepping up to a table with it's going to be cold, and check the temperature yourself and watch it. Hop the reds on the come out. I love it.
You know,
that's another great hop bet. I didn't bring that up earlier, but hopping the reds on the come out is one of the best plays you can make on people you don't know how they shoot or whatever. I mean, that's a fantastic little bet.
Tell Dustin that in the chat here. Dustin's going to tell you he loves it. I'll put that back up here. When I first read this, nervous about short roll losers new to the game. I know that everybody doesn't have deep pockets, but when I started, I would start with a $200, $300, $400 buy-in, $500 buy-in, and at the time it was $5 and $10 tables. If I don't want to tell somebody to bring more money to lose more money, but the adage of bring more money to win money does have a little bit of bell to it once you become a much experienced player. But you will really want to pace yourself. If you're a newcomer to the game, tell me if I'm wrong, Ed, you don't have to bet on every shooter, and you don't have to bet on every bet that's on the frickin' table. That might be some advice.
I mean, lay the point and bet the 6 and 8. That'd be an easy way to find out if that table
6, 7, 8. Yep. A 6, 7, 8.
I don't like the don't pass anymore. I've totally changed I used to do the don't pass at 6, 8. Why expose that don't pass to so many ways to lose it? Just lay the point.
Yep. There's so many, but there's variations of to do something similar to a 6, 7, 8, and I guess it's your choice that you'd want to play. But the way that when I read that question, it's just that new to the game, learn the game, know the bets, understand the payouts, because you will get shorted on a payout. And anybody knows me when I've been shorted on a payout, especially a couple people that play in the AC group. It slows the game down when you're trying to get paid. And they'll always say, well, Jeff, it's $5, don't worry about it. Well, what happens if that bet was double that and it's a $50 bet? You know, it's a $50 mistake. So I'll say that.
Yeah, I got shorted on a bet a couple times, different dealers. In Biloxi, last couple times I was there, they hand them to me. I pick them up like this. I look at them,
Set it right
and I
back.
hold them up beside my face. No, I don't even set them down. Let's look at it and look at the dealer. So I'm looking at my. I
Right.
don't say anything. Keeps the game moving. I set them down. They go. They point at me. And go, I owe you.
That's a good way to
They
do
can
it.
see it.
Yeah, let me put this question back up here. How do you handle a choppy? Oh, we already did that one, didn't we? Where'd the other question? Oh, here you go. Talk about how you use Bone Tracker.
All right. So if you're a Bone Tracker user, you need to have the latest version that's buried inside of Heavy's site. I think it costs you $12 to join. Keeps out the riffraff and keeps out the robots, so to speak. I try to throw anywhere between 72 to 100 tosses a night when I'm logging tosses. And obviously you're using the same set every toss, every night. You want to get up to around 720 or plus. Then you want to look for your highest SRR variations that you're tossing, and then you want to go in and manually input on the there's a tab that's got like 72 different things you can put in there. You can put in your first, second, and third best SRRs. Put them in. Anything in yellow you can change. So you put in the sets that all correspond to the same sevens in that coaster chart column, as they call it. You can, quite frankly, you can do about the same thing with AI.
Well, one part, I was helping somebody the other day on Bone Tracker. I am by no means a Bone Tracker expert, by no means whatsoever. I mean, I can use Excel and go through it. And the very first thing we found out is that they were using an online version of the Microsoft package, and you actually have to have the version, from what I understand, you have to have the version installed on the computer in order to take advantage of the coaster charts and a couple of the other features. Is that true?
I think that's correct. I think that's correct. So you may have to buy Excel, or you may have to, pay a fee to Microsoft. But what I'm telling you right now is you can take that damn coaster chart, or you can take your columns, just make you a spreadsheet and track all your rolls, and you can dump that into artificial intelligence. You'll be amazed at what it'll tell you.
Yeah, you and that AI, it gets me all the time. I mean, just even preparing for this show, the AI stuff that you came up with, that you sent me and that I saw was just very interesting. Ed and AI,
Yeah.
who would know Ed's an AI expert? Well, expert user. I mean,
No, I'm not an expert, but I am a user, and I
Yeah.
use it for craps only. I don't use it for anything other than that.
Right. Question from Sweet Lou. What's the best way to deal with leeches that follow you from table to table? I got my own idea, but what do you think
We
on
could
that
eat
one,
some
Ed?
beans. We could eat some beans and boiled eggs.
I wasn't thinking that. I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm the gentle giant, if you will. But when somebody bothers me, I'm quick to say, do you mind? We actually, I think we saw that down at the second day in Biloxi. We met a couple new people that are now part of that group down there. They saw us playing, and they came every time we played. We saw that at Atlantic City. We've probably picked up about a dozen people for that group. By the way, the Atlantic City group is humongous now, and they've become real good friends of us. They saw how we played, and they wanted to play with us. But that's different than, I guess the leeches would be somebody that doesn't have good table etiquette, that doesn't know the game, and probably is a shake and baker and bouncer.
I've had people follow me in Vegas, dude. I mean, it's ultimately, as long as they're not really bothering me, I don't care. But if they start bothering me in some way, like coming up and poking me wanting to know where I learned to play, or wanting to know this or wanting to know that, dude, I'll chew their ass out in a heartbeat. You know,
Yeah.
If they're just there to bet and not to shoot, I don't care. Just keep your dice out of my way, or keep your chips out of my way. But you know what? I don't even care if you're in my way anymore.
No, I mean, well, you practice a lot on your table with chips in the way, if you will, if that makes sense. But, you know, if you're shooting in your position, and I'm going to assume your position is stick left, 1 or 2, and the way that you throw the dice and land more or less on the curvature of the pass line, beyond the pass line, how you like that segue, Ed? Beyond the pass line.
Just beyond the pass line.
Right. And there's no chips left unturned. But just you're so rhythmic, and if you're on that day, the dice might not be cooperating with you, but your mechanics is just so incredible that no matter if you're shooting from 1 or 2 left, you're just so consistent. I have seen you have decent rolls from the right side and from straight out, but you know your position you like is the left side, correct?
You know it is, and sometimes it's a little more than stick left 1. For me, it might even, like last weekend, I was doing really good if I had distance. Shooting down in the hook on a 12-foot table. Dude, I shot 2 hell of a hands from straight out on a 14-foot crapless table down there last weekend. So there was some adjustments I had to make, of course, but sometimes for me, I'll take this back to when we started playing as team play a long time ago. They would put me in the hook because nobody else wanted it. I got used to that distance and that roll, and that, you know, the whole deal was just what Ed had to practice. And sometimes I go back there and it comes right back to you. Sometimes it's better for me to be throwing a little longer distance than it is a short distance.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed this or if anybody's talked to you, or maybe that's what Heavy had said to you, but when you're straight out, your entire release, it has to be different, but it's more like from straight out, you got to reach, but the way that you throw from straight out and watching the dice go through the air and with a consistent mechanism, not that they're together, married, or they're far apart, or where they land. It's just that they're consistent with how they're going through the air. But if you're at the table and you're at 1 or 2, I automatically qualify you, and I know you say don't qualify me, but I've seen you shoot extremely well from the left side.
I prefer left over right. That's a fact, for sure. I'm not a big fan of the right side for me.
Neither am I.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I practice it some, but yeah.
Question: when laying the point, would you lay or try to cover the 6 and 8 bets? Not sure I understand that fully, but Ed, do you?
Well, it's like I think he's probably pulling that in from that 6, 7, 8 one hit can't miss description we had.
Could be.
If the point 6 and you're intending to play, if you're intending to play it, I mean, I would. You know, you may not want to lay the 6, lay the 4, bet the 6 and 8. You may want to lay the 5 and bet the 6 and 8 if 5 is the point. If that helps your feelings, you're not going. You know, hedging doesn't help you win; it keeps you from losing, I guess, right? But you're not winning as much. That's all it's doing. But, you know, if you're trying to find out if you got a decent hand, I mean, I played one hit can't miss on people before and ended up with, you know, $250 tens, and the 10 is so far, 4 and 10 are so far away from 6 and 8. But it just goes to show you can just keep building up and spreading out and just go. So it's not a bad way just to kind of ease in, but I don't like personally. I got 6 ways to lose on a 7 on a don't pass. I've got 2 ways to lose on a yo. That's a lot of exposure on a don't pass and on a DC, right? Yep. So if I'm intending to play that way now, I would just lay the point, and then if I'm not going to play a 6 or 8, I'll wait until the next roll, and then I'll lay that number. And then I'll let them throw, and if they hit a different number, I'll lay that number. And I got 3 lays sitting up there, and I'm just going to sit and wait for the outcome.
And to clarify, that is on somebody that you either don't qualify, you've never seen shoot, or somebody you know that you've seen shoot prior. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's an unknown person, but there's nothing to say they're not going to knock you off before they 7 out either. I've had that done too, so
Right.
that's going to happen.
Right.
They're going to knock every once in a while. You're going to get blistered, and then they're going to throw a 7.
Is that Bernowski? Is that how you say that? Says, do you change how you play a choppy crapless table versus a regular table? That's a semi good question. And since Ed, you played much more crapless than I ever have. How do you? I'll put that back up there just so you can read it again.
I don't. Let me rephrase that. I don't change my play on a crapless versus a regular. I can't do a lay. I can't do anything like that. So I've got the easiest thing to do, though, if you're just trying to buy time, and I've done this a gazillion times, especially in Tunica, is, buy a $35 12 and just sit there. You don't go 12 this time. You got to be consistent on the number, I believe. But you can do a $35 12 and just sit there with your arms crossed until they 7 out or they start handing you money off that 12. You could do it with a 3 or 11, obviously. That would be a little better bet than what I just said. But, you don't have to go, if you're worried about what people are going to throw and you want to see what's going to happen and you think it's cold and choppy or whatever, just bet one number. Bet one number that pays good, but just bet one number. I like to play the 3, 6, 8, and 11 and a field bet to start. That's my norm.
Well, as you know, I'm new to consistent crapless tables. As you know, Brownwater, the regular table was my downfall. Every morning was horrible. Every afternoon was pretty bad. But in the evenings, we killed it. I should say many people killed. I only had one good roll in the crapless, but I had probably 10 good rolls on a regular table. I was just betting too much on other people. But at the crapless, we killed it 3 nights in a row before we went to the private table on the last night we were there. And I am a fan of crapless now, Ed, but I'm not experienced enough to say that I enjoy it. I enjoy it. They're comfortable.
It's a totally different game, but we embrace it down here. We really do.
Yep. They got so much of it too. Quite a bit.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. What's your thoughts on an all 7 set for setting the dice? We talked about that a little earlier, but real quick, Ed.
If you show them, you can't throw them. I mean, I like the all 7 set if you've got a bad grip or if you've got a little bit of hitch in your mechanics where you're always double pitching or one die off axis. It's not a bad set to use at all. Contrary to what many other people will tell you.
Right. I've seen you switch to an all 7 set, not practice wise, but actually at the table, and it's surprising to me. And I don't want to come up to you and talk to you while you're shooting. And I typically forget to ask you that, but I know your usual come out sets, and I know I don't want to call it snipey numbers if you're at an ATS table, but what prompts you to switch to the all 7 set when you're at the table? Maybe your ins and outs of what's not working, what you think, the table conditions, or whatever.
Well, it could be a couple things. It could be I'm double pitching, and then maybe I'm double pitching the fronts. Maybe I'm throwing a 2V. 2, 1, 2, 3, and I'm double pitching the fronts or the backs, not the tops or bottoms. So if I'm doing tops or bottoms, I'm out. So, but maybe I'm double pitching fronts and backs, and I want to see if I can exploit that. The other thing is maybe somebody put a lot of chips right where I wanted to land, and so I've got to change my angle. If I've got to change my angle into the wall, that's going to make them hit at a slightly different angle and probably give me an off-axis result. So I wanted to go with something else that's not a hard way set because I don't like the hard way set. It's too many double pitches everywhere are out. So I'd rather have double pitches give me a hard way bet.
No, that makes perfect sense. All right, Ed. Believe it or not, we're almost an hour into the show. But I
got
want
a slide you can put up there anywhere?
I do.
Ahead.
I'm going to come around that out. I was going to put this up here before I'm trying to find where it was. I've had a couple comments come in that were not in the form of a question. It's kind of hard for me to find that. I'm trying to find
Nobody wants to join us tonight. Where's everybody at? They're welcome to come on in here.
Well, I do have somebody. I just got somebody came in. We're going to talk about the slide. And Brian, that's looks like it's Holy Roller. What's the topic? Brian, if you're watching, I just got your email. Sorry, I thought that you were actually going to come in. If you want to come on the show, Brian, you can. There's really no topic. This is basically just beyond the Passline, no chips left unturned with Ed and myself. We're just shooting the breeze and talking, answering questions from people, and getting ready to talk about a few things that Ed's got some announcements on. But if you want to come on the show, Brian, just let me know, and I can send you the link via email. I don't think you're cruising this week. And if you are going to put a question in, guys, let's put it in there this way. Put a capital Q and a semicolon, and it changes colors on my screen, but I can't pen it tonight because on dual streams, I don't have that technology to be able to do that. Hey, Bill, welcome here. Let's go over here to Ed's screen that he wants me to pen. I believe this is it, Ed. Is that it? That's it, isn't it?
That's next. No, that's not it. That's next year.
Oh, shoot.
That's next October. That's October next year, dude.
You know what I did?
You can leave it up there. That's when.
No, it didn't restart from where I queued it up in the beginning. There you go. Here we go. So you're going to be talking about your 2026 event schedule, casino tiers, and the Roll2Win. And I've given away that the October. We'll get to it. So here you go. Take it away.
First ever casino tiers event in Biloxi, Mississippi. The opening weekend of craps season, January 16th through the 18th at the Back Bay Biloxi Boys and Girls Club. So there you go. Now, how do you get into it? You got to contact Bo Parker. Say, Bo, I want to be in the Biloxi class. And he'll take your name and number and all your stuff. He's not going to charge you right now, but he's going to get you on the list, and then he'll start communicating with you the closer we get to January. So that's how you get that one done. So first ever, we've got we've got an antique. We got an antique Binion's horseshoe table. We put it together last weekend. It is now completely finished. The felt is stretched and settling in and ready to go. We've got an old Binion's table with the horseshoe legs in a room at a private residence, and that person is going to allow us to teach classes in there. Yeah. Have the event. We'll do a Friday night meetup there, free the cocktails and all that. We'll probably do a little gumbo or something maybe, and then on Saturday morning is one class, Sunday morning is another class. Same thing as we do is in Vegas. We got the Saturday morning, we're going to have breakfast. We provide lunch. We've already been talking to Mahoney's about bringing in some really good Southern food. You just got to let us know if you've got a food allergy. That would be important. But we're going to do it in Biloxi. We're going to kick off the 2026 season of craps in Biloxi, January 16th through 18th. And as I speak, it is my understanding that Bo Parker and 10 Ton is number one, will be in attendance and working the event with me.
And I find that I didn't know if I was going to be able to meet 10 Ton in September or not, but I knew that I was going to try to come down in January and get to meet him. It looks like I'm going to meet him in September. My stall here is that I'm actually looking for the Facebook post of that picture you put out there, Ed, and I've been to 3 different Facebook pages, and I cannot find the picture I wanted to display. Any ideas where I could find that?
The stuff I did was the Casino Tiers group on Facebook.
I did that.
If anybody out there is not listening, I mean, I don't know where else it would be. I mean, I put it there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to show a picture while you're doing. Actually, the story's over with now. We got to move on to your next one, but I just wanted to. I was just going to grab the picture and show it, but I'll stop fooling around with that. Let's move on to the next date. We're moving forward. And you may have covered it while I was scrolling. How can they sign up for that?
The best way is to get a hold of Bo Parker at dicecoach.com. He's got his phone number on there, got his email on there. Get in touch with him. You can join our Facebook group on Casino Tiers, and he's always hanging out in there. You can find him there. But so definitely he's the one for any Casino Tiers events that we're going to do. Definitely do that right there through Bo Parker.
All right. And one more thing I'll do here, see if I can get it. Let's go to the next date. There you go.
March 6th and 8th. Now, the Casino Tiers event in Las Vegas. One thing I will tell you right now is there's already, I think, at least 6 of those slots taken on Saturday. I think that the March 7th and 8th, last I saw, there was 6 already signed up for March 7th. So there's 2 left on Saturday, and we've got a full slate left available right now for Sunday in March in Las Vegas.
All right. Now, this should be familiar to some folks.
Ho! Anthony, where are you, Anthony? Where is Anthony? Is he still out there? Brownwater Bash.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun. The Brownwater Bash, Biloxi, Mississippi, will be the weekend of May 15th through the 17th in the year 2026. This is a no-cost deal. It is a gathering of craps players from around the country to go meet up for whatever reason. We had 75 people or so show up last year, or last
10
May.
YouTubers. 10 YouTubers with whaling out at the bubble craps. We had 10 YouTubers.
Yeah, we had a total of 10 YouTubers. Everybody just shows up and we have a good time. Well, unless something seriously, drastically changes, we'll be hosting that at the Hard Rock there in Biloxi again.
All right.
So
I'm looking forward to that one too. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, write that one down. Then we're going to do another one in Biloxi at the end of July with Casino Tiers. Same type of event, same type of situation. You can't make it in January. You want to sign up for July, go ahead and get a hold of Bo Parker and get on the list. Yeah. Eventually, we start building up a waiting list for some of these. I mean, we had waiting lists for October. We had a couple people back out and had to make changes and say, I can't make it in October. I got to go to March. Bo calls other people and they just pump, boom, they go right back in. So we just filled it back up. So there is always a waiting list kind of going on some of those Vegas trips. We'll see how it goes in Biloxi, see what the market wants to do, but we'll see.
All right, let's switch back over to the screen, and I think we've got one or two more slides to go. Well, at least one more. So that's July, and now we're going to move into October.
That's the one you showed up first. Yeah, October of next year, we'll be back in Las Vegas, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of October. Weather should be nice again. Hopefully it'll be nice this year when we're there in October. But yeah, come on down. Get a hold. That's our schedule. Dicecoach.com. He'll have all of it down as far as his calendar. He always keeps it up to date. I'm not sure whether Fran publishes them or not on casinotiers.com or not, but we'll keep it talking about it. We'll keep posting about it. And if you're not in the Casino Tiers group on Facebook, apply. We'll let you in.
All right,
it is a private group just to kind of protect people's privacy. Other than that, I could care less.
You did go to a place that I was going to go to next, and that was actually while you had the floor. I was going to mention about the podcast with 10 Ton. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you won't know, man. We just recorded last week.
Forever recording.
No, you'd be surprised at how little sometimes. I mean, we may talk for 4 hours. That's a lot of material for podcast. So
no, it is. Yeah, it is.
So we don't record every week anymore. We used to, but now, I mean, we recorded probably 3 hours the other night, and I was talking to him today. He was editing that down. That's going to release next week. Probably going to start inching in with some video next year on the Patreon side for people. He's talking about trying to move it to every 2 weeks instead of every week for the general public next year. We'll see how that goes, but that's kind of the way we're leaning. It's so much darn work, man. I mean, it's like having an extra job. A complete, because he's such a perfectionist. He wants the audio to be perfect.
Nope.
And so he's going to grind on it and hours and hours and hours for a 30-minute podcast. I mean, come on. I mean, it is crazy how much work that is. So I think probably next year it may be every other week after we get around to episode 100, 104, however you want to look at it.
That was one of the questions I was going to have, is where are you in the episode wise for the folks, fine folks out there? It drops every Tuesday.
Yeah, we're at episode 79 coming out this Tuesday night.
Yep.
Episode 80 and 81 will be with Bo Parker, part 1 and part 2. We had a lot of question and answer stuff coming in, and so he and I go back and forth a lot on the questions. We recorded that a couple of weeks ago. There's that picture.
I finally got it. See?
Yeah. The table is in.
Yeah. So
it is a great. It's in a great room.
It is. I've seen pictures of the house. Obviously I've not been there. I know you have been, because you shipped the table in, you put it together and put the new layout on it. I was going to bring down the other picture that I had on there that showed the layout, but that's the room. In that picture, just to give credit where credit is due, that's off the Casino Tiers Facebook page. You posted that picture. That's Oz all the way to the left side. Then it's Mark, and that's Aloha. Is that Aloha Johnny? And then it's you, correct?
Yep. That's it. It took all 4 of us old men to put that table together. That sucker was heavy. That bowl was one piece. That whole bowl around that table, 12 foot, is one piece. And there's a lot of oak in that.
There was a question. I know you sort of semi-covered it, but there was a question. Arnell was one, and I believe, I don't know, was Rick or somebody else said, tell us about the gentleman's club there. I know we're not talking about some place you stuff dollar bills, but it's, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a private home, number one. It's not open to the public. It's not some place you can just walk up to, bang on a door, and say, I want to practice craps. But the host, which is Aloha Johnny, has given us permission, as long as it's not abused, and he's compensated accordingly, and I got a great way to compensate him, is to, let us use it. Because, I mean, he's willing to let us use it. He calls it the boys. He wanted to call it the Back Bay Biloxi Boys Club because his house is on the Back Bay of Biloxi. So that's where that name came from. It's the boys and girls. I had to remind him there were going to be some women might show up as well. So that's why we kind of went in. We kind of went in there in the end and put in "and girls" right underneath it with an arrow pointing in. But just kind of a little bit of humor.
That's a topic in itself. The amount of women that are now playing the game that are actually taking it, more than recreational and becoming serious. I mean, you've got that whole that group, the Craps Angels, that travel quite a bit in the West Coast Vegas area, carrying that group. But it's just nice to see that. As a matter of fact, Justice Jen just put in there that about 20 minutes from now she wants to pop in here. I don't know if we'll still be doing the show or not, because we do have a couple more questions, Ed. Here you go.
We might pop in. We can hang on for Jen, maybe.
When visiting Biloxi, Mississippi, do you have any recommendations of places to visit besides a casino? What are your personal favorite things to do beside gambling? Or is that all there is to do? That's not all there is to do, but Ed, take it away.
I am the worst person to ask that question. All right, they've got a lot of things in Gulfport, 30, 45 minutes up the road. Less if you take the interstate. If you don't want the scenic drive, there's an aquarium. There's an amphitheater up there. If you go the opposite direction from Biloxi, you go into Ocean Springs, which is just right across the bridge. Ocean Springs is one of the most quaint little towns with artsy gift shops and local artists, local restaurant type things. I mean, it's just a beautiful place to get out and walk around on a pretty day. Ever so often, there's lots of food. The food is everywhere, but Mahoney's would be a pick if you're not going to eat outside of a casino. Mahoney's is in its third generation of ownership.
Oh, wow. Did not know that.
Yeah, it is, and it's directly across the street from Hard Rock. Fantastic food.
I had to put
Enjoyed
that
the
up
Waffle House about every third block if you want to eat there.
I was with Clay on that tour, and it wasn't a 3-hour.
If you get on, and you can look at the calendar of events, there's always something going on in Biloxi, especially in the summertime. So, Margaritaville is there, and I've never set foot in it, but it's not a casino, but it is an attraction for people with children and that kind of place. I mean, they got the water slides and the pools and all those kind of things. It's just a tourist attraction for families with no gambling. So Margaritaville's right there next to the Golden Nugget. Like I say, I'm sorry, I'm the worst person to ask for it, but there is a great calendar out there. I go out and look at it to make sure I'm not going in on a really, really, really busy weekend. I try to stay away from cruising the coast. I try to stay away from scraping the coast. I just don't like the noise and the traffic. But
Well,
sometimes you'll even catch the Thunderbirds down there practicing right out of Keesler Air Force Base. So
Yes. When you're right on the coast, and you would think that, there's a lot of water activities, but what I've learned down there is that the water activities are typically in the pools at the hotels and the casinos. Now, I'm not saying there isn't some.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are two islands about, I don't know how many miles. There are two islands off the coast, and you can catch a ferry out there and spend the day in crystal blue water out there. The water in Biloxi Bay area is all murky, but you can go all the way out there. It's $40 or something to go out, catch those little boats that they'll take you all the way out there, and they drop you off, take your umbrellas and all that, and you want to spend a day in the sun and pretty beach. There you go. There's an old fort. There's an old Civil War fort out there on one of them, as a matter of fact.
I did not know that. I know we were sitting out on your luxurious suite that you have, and I'm in a regular room, which I don't mind. But we were looking one day. It was the haze was down, and you could just see the tip of one of those islands, or as off in the distance. For the most part, every time I've been there, the haze is pretty heavy. But and then you got that little island right across from your suite, where they kind of like they dock their boats, beach their boats, and get out and have activities. But those are local people doing that.
They're just having fun.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is what we do here. We call it the Redneck Yacht Club when we do that. Question from Dustin. Any insight on craps with cards, Ed? Wait for this answer.
The hell is that?
It's where in the state of California they mix up the cards and they change the place.
I know
changes.
I know what it is.
I have never played it. I've seen it on YouTube. Remember, anything on YouTube is factual and true. You got to believe everything you see on YouTube. Anyway, any insight?
The only person I've ever heard say anything about it told me to bet the hard ways, and that's all I can tell you, because I wouldn't play the darn stuff. Because you don't know. I mean, you can throw an 8 and it can be a 7. You can throw a 9 and it could be a 4. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. So why, if you're a craps player, don't play where you can't take advantage of your play. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't play where you do not have an advantage.
Jen says,
Ed not only doesn't cruise anymore, Ed has never been on a cruise ship.
I was going to say that. I've cruised, quite extensively. Not since 2022. I have my preferences for why I do. I'm in about 8 different cruise club forums and a cruise club that is local to my area. I haven't cruised with them since like 19, but I've had 30 plus cruises, and most of them have been on the Carnival cruise line. But I've taken a couple other cruises on Carnival brands, and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean and Princess, and I would have to say I've had my most fun on a carnival, but I have not cruised since 2022, and I have my reasons. I'm not going to get into it here. I know Brian Holy Roller had put in the chat here that he was with us, but maybe that's for another topic and another show, because we have no idea how many of these we're actually going to do. It's so far today. It's been very interesting because we had no format.
None. I like it that way.
Yeah, I do. We have no
I mean,
outside.
It's like when 10 Ton and I are doing our recordings for Casino Tears. He may have an agenda, but I don't have one, and I don't know what his agenda is. And so then, from my standpoint, it's all off the cuff, and then it takes us into all kind of directions. So I like it that way.
Yep. So I'm gonna wrap up here in just a few minutes. If anybody has another question, if I missed your question, it's because you either didn't put it in a capital Q or it was more than probably 20 minutes ago when we were talking about the announcement that Ed made on the experience coming to Biloxi and the dates of both the experiences in Vegas and Biloxi, as well as the Brownwater Bash 2026. I'm going to premise this with Atlantic City action coming up. There's going to be quite a few of us that are going to be in the area the last week of August before the weekend of the holiday weekend. There are basically 5 casinos that you'll find them playing in. They have branched out of the Caesars group to play at a couple other locations that have some really good table conditions. But there's one place in Atlantic City that I will not play. I may visit, go over and say hello to some of the folks, but I won't play due to bad experiences, and that's a whole nother story on a whole nother show and a whole nother topic. So if you're in and around Atlantic City, look for me. Typically, I don't get down to the tables until after 7 and 10 o'clock. For me is about the same time period, just so you know that. And I play several sessions a day: a morning session, afternoon session. Typically, have dinner with the group and with the women, and then have an evening session. But come and say hello to us. We're basically going because it is, if you're familiar with the group, it is a 10 times or 5 times weekend, whatever it is, and the place will be packed for that location. And leading into the weekend, it'll also be busy. But we do a lot of in Atlantic City. We got such a humongous group. Eventually, we take over the whole table, and then it's like a private table. You've got good table etiquette. You've got no late bets, no chips in the way. People understand how you get paid. They don't start looking for, you didn't pay me, because they don't know stick to base and base to stick on whether, how they're paying it out. But we take over a table, and it's really fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing some people I have not seen yet. Jen, if you want to join us, we'll give you the benefit of coming on. I know that you had some things to take care of. I will send you that link. So, Ed, we're going to bring Jen on. I think we are, right. And we'll see what she says. Go
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I got to do the work.
Well, I was just going to say, if you wanted to bring up those dates again, we can run through them again.
Yep.
But the main thing is, this October is filled up on the Casino Tiers event. So let me tell you what we do in Vegas when we do that. So we have, we go to 10 Tons condominium apartment up on the 31st floor. And Friday night, we have some of the best premium alcohol you're ever going to have. So we have a great a cocktail party up on the 31st floor overlooking the Strip. You cannot beat that view with anything. You cannot beat that view at all. And then we start on Saturday morning at 8:30 is breakfast. It's served right there in the room. 9 o'clock, we start the class. 11:30 or so, 12 o'clock, we go downstairs, right down to the Aria, and we feed everybody lunch. We come back upstairs, finish out the afternoon about 5 o'clock, and then we go play about 7 o'clock or so with the people who attended that day's event and that are signed up for Sunday's event. Because if we can take over a table with 12 people, we love that. So we try to do that. We do the same thing on Sunday. It's kind of a rinse and repeat. We do breakfast, we do lunch down at the Aria, and then on Sunday night, we go play craps as a group. We're not afraid to play with the attendees. We want to play with the attendees. We want to give them some real life pressurized experience, if you will. And we're going to do the same thing in Biloxi, except it's going to be a little more Southern style because I'm Southern. And we're probably going to have some great seafood, Cajun style food down there for everybody, one way or another, unless of course you've got a shellfish issue or something like that. And we'll make sure we make appropriate accommodations for those that have got allergies to that kind of food. But this leaves more of that from me.
All right, so one more time, January 16th to the 18th, the experience is coming to Biloxi, and 10 Ton and Bo are allegedly or supposedly going to be there for the opening session of that.
Plan. That's what they said.
I had 10 Ton tell me something about traveling. I won't say too much about that, but I like to see him there. Then we move back to Vegas, or you move back to Vegas, March 6th to the 8th, 2026. I did put up the Dice Coach, his website for you to contact him. All his information is on there, including his cell phone number. Then back to Biloxi, July 24th through the 25th, or 24th to 25th, I should say. And then back in
then
fall.
that's probably missing a day because it's that weekend. It's a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm missing a date there.
Okay.
So anyway, but that's where we're at.
Yep. And then you got October 2nd through the 4th back in Vegas. And 10 Ton is the host of that one. So I understand. I've not seen it, but I understand that's a spectacular venue to be able to
incredible.
go.
You can't be getting better in Vegas than that right there, I don't think, with the craps table. We've got the Brownwater Bash in May. And so here's what we're also going to do as a possible side item, if you want it, if people want it. The 15th, 16th, and 17th, that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll probably come down Wednesday night. And if you want to schedule some type of tune-up, we're going to put a schedule out, cost, and that kind of thing. But if you want to do some tune-ups, craps lessons, maybe bring in your spouse that doesn't know how to play, want them to learn how to play, whatever you want to do, that Thursday and Friday, I'm going to make myself available and fill out some time slots where I'll be available to teach at the Back Bays Boys and Girls Club on the couple of days prior to that. And if it goes well, we might even do it. I see Jen, and we might even do it in November. Hey, Jen.
Yep. Hey, Jen.
She's got on her Casino Tears shirt. Got on the classic Casino Green. Yep.
I love it. This is my favorite combination.
Well, Jen, I know you've got a busy schedule there, and I know a little bit more about what's going on. But I'm glad you were able to make it with us tonight on I call it the pilot. I call it episode 1. Ed and I said we're going to do this once a year, so maybe it's not even that. We call it can't say that, the bull crap session, but we named the show. Tell me if you like this, Jen. Beyond the Passline. No chips left unturned.
I love it. This needs to be more than once a year, and maybe you should do it for your Patreons, Ed.
Ed is just so super busy with everything he's doing. I mean, I got to schedule a call. That's not true.
Once a quarter, twice a month. I don't care. We'll figure something out, Jeff. I mean, we'll figure it out. This won't be the only one, but it is hard. I mean, like next couple of months, we'll have to fit. If we do it, we'll have to fit it in between my 2 Vegas trips.
So Jen, hang in there. We got one more question for Ed. I think that he may want to attach this, and then we'll get a couple comments from you. Ed, I know where you got yours, but he wants to know the best place to buy a craps table. I know everybody knows about American Table Games, but you've got some guy in the Atlanta area.
Yeah, I've got a friend. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Don't let me forget. If you want one made, I know a guy that makes tables. He doesn't do it for a living. He's got plenty of business that he does. He just kind of does it for fun, but he makes beautiful tables. He made this table that I bought in raw form and then stained it and all that kind of stuff. But his finished product, like at 10 Tons apartment complex, is phenomenal. If you need his contact info, you can email me at roll2WinCraps@gmail.com, and I can send you his email, and you can ask him how much it costs. And the shipping is always a special burden these days, right? So, but here's what I wanted to say, Jeff. At some of these events, we call him Table Maker. Table Maker is going to come in and be hanging out at the casinos, especially maybe even at the Brownwater Bash. And he is going to give away a table. You have an opportunity to get a table. Now, there's a catch. Here's the whole catch. You want a table for $75? Put 25, 25, 25 on an ATS table with Table Maker, and that's his bet. Make sure it's his bet. If it's hit, don't matter who's throwing it, he'll provide you with the table. So where else are you going to get? Where else are you going to get a free, almost free table, or an opportunity for a free table? $75 ATS bet for the Table Maker. Hits, you get a table. Can't beat that.
No, you can't. You cannot. Wow.
How about that? I can't believe I forgot to bring that up earlier.
Well, but you got it in there.
Yeah, there's so much been going on for the last 2 weeks trying to get this schedule nailed down and everything else, and he made that offer. I jumped on it. So, I mean, even at the Brownwater Bash, if he's at the Brownwater Bash, you see Table Maker, make him a $75 ATS bet, and if it hits, you're going to get a table.
Wow, sweet.
That's a deal.
It is.
That is a deal.
Yeah. Huggy Bear wants to know whether there be a Casino Tiers craps layout available this year, Ed. I have not heard that.
It's my understanding that it can be available if you ask. It has to be printed. We don't have them in stock, but it can be available.
Ah, nice, sweet.
And so,
right,
we changed up a few things because we're in the South down here on the table in the South. The one we just put together, instead of the all tall small, 10 Tons got his own we came up with his own ATS names. But down here in the South, we just called the little one, the big one, and all of them.
Jen, keep it clean here. Keep it clean.
We got the little one, the big one, and the small one, and all of them. So there we go. Anyway.
So let's go ahead and say hello,
Hey,
Jen.
Jen.
You jumped in. We're just about done with the show. You got 20 seconds. Isn't that what they do on network news? You got 20 seconds. Let me hear what you got to say. How are you doing, my friend?
God, 20
No,
seconds.
you got longer than that. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm just still laughing about it should be like little ton, big ton, all the tons. I mean,
That's an idea.
Hey, Table Maker should also maybe make a table for the one who actually hits the ATS. I've been on a crazy tear. I hit the full ATS on the last 5 trips, in a row.
Sweet.
You don't know when it'll be, right? It could be on the first
Right.
roll. It could be on the last roll, but then you're committed. So it'd be interesting to track. I started to track how much did I spend on this ATS because I know I've been hitting them, and then I gave up after 8 rolls without them. And then I was like, forget it. This, a come out sevens, all that stuff. I was like, forget it. You just have to have faith that you make more than you spend.
Well, Jen, I think we should back up just 1 second here. I gave the wrong probably intro because Ed and I know you. We played with you craps with you numerous times. We won't talk about the three-way in Atlantic City there, Jim. We'll let that go. And that's an inside joke, guys. Don't take it the wrong way. But you are you play. This is Justice Jen. I don't have the title up there. But oh, by the way, you're our first guest ever. And probably the only guest tonight.
First guest ever.
Yeah. But you play a lot, and no matter where the meetup is, you seem to be there. Big AZ, Brian from HCS, Ed's, us on the East Coast. I mean, you've been at John Seattle. I mean, you've been everywhere. I mean, what kind of job do you have? Oh my gosh, girl. I mean, geez, I need to get a job like that. You must be a lawyer or something.
Something. I mean, that's that's the secret. Have your kids go to law school and then specialize in something that's so niche that everyone needs you. So they're so grateful when I can give them a little bit of my time. Yeah, I'm the ultimate groupie. I know that's what you have reserved for DJen's fiance, but I know I try to go to all these meetups because for me, it's not the money. I have some amount of money, but I just like to meet the people so much. And it keeps you from freaking out when you see someone like live and in person. Like I was like, I see when people fan out and they start gushing when they see Ed and Jeff and John, and it cracks me up, right? And the reason I don't do it is because I try to meet you all and show you're human and you're funny. Ed's so much younger looking in person. I don't know why. He looks so
And I'm so much heavier.
You're so much taller in person than you do, right? I mean,
well, standing next to you, I am pretty tall, but I'm also, 6'4", 320. So, do the math.
a giant man. Yeah, I love it though. This is so much fun, and listening to you guys. Sometimes you get lost in everyone's strategy. You get so lost in like what's the right way. This person does it, and then you feel like you FOMO so much, and then I need to bring more money, and I throw more money, and I just lose more money. So it's not the way. So it's once in a while it's nice to hear Ed say he'll buy in for 300. He'll be patient, and I think patience is a weak part of my game. For sure.
But you don't buy in for 300.
Maybe you would add a 0, and that would be my buy-in.
Yeah, I've played with you a couple times. I don't think I've seen you buying for 3, but I have seen you buying for much more than that. But I don't want to say somebody in the chat here said if you look at this, they said she gets around. But you get around quite a bit, and you cruise a lot. You've been on a lot of cruises with the various groups. So I know that you travel. With and without your wife, so it's times that just when you've been on the East Coast. I think a couple times you've been on a work trip when we've met at Maryland Live or MGM, but
they were work trips. Yeah, no, I met with Congress, and then afterward, I'm like, Jeff, let's go have some fun at the table with and stuff.
So Ed, Jen, you're on the show. I'm taking all the talking here because it just seems like I know you. I did have a conversation about you today, by the way, girl. But anyway, Ed, anything for Jen? Jen, you're on the show. What do you want to do?
Well, Jen is one of the backbones working behind the scenes at the Craps for the Cure, as I understand it. And Jen, I look forward to seeing you down there this year. I will be there.
I heard the news. John had withheld that information until recently, and that's very exciting.
That's hard to believe. That's hard to believe he kept that secret as long as he did.
Yeah, he did. It is that way.
It's like pulling teeth out of that guy. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's got me on Saturday morning sometime. So that's good because I got a lot of touristy things I got to do.
Oh, you bring the wife.
My wife is coming, and her sister is coming, and her sister's never been. So, yeah, we're going to come down. We'll be there and be hanging out there around the strip, and then I'll be heading over to Casino Quest that Saturday morning early. Get there when they start, so I'm around until they're done with me. So, I want to offer my support as best I can.
I think people need to buy tickets. I think we're pretty low on ticket sales, and all of it goes to the dogs and to the vets. We don't keep a penny of it at all. So that'd be great, and people should bring their Kleenex and some baby wipes because Ed will have you getting the feels for sure.
If I get a chance to talk about it, I'll probably be crying too.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of shows, Ed, where your true the big heart that you have comes out with your emotions that you dispel. And I don't want to get you that way on this show, but I'm looking forward to actually being there, Jen. As you know, I wasn't there last year due to some issues, but I'm going to be there. Fingers crossed still that I'm going to be there from the 11th through the 17th. So I'm not sure how long you're there, but I'm making it a 7-day trip. Yeah, 7 days.
For a long time. Good job. No, this is nice because when you have the key personnel, the key components, and everyone wants to meet you, I think it's a really big draw. And the reason we do want to draw is we want folks to buy tickets, or even if they don't buy tickets, they can. You're more compelled to donate when you're there in person. But this year, I think we're going to be a little bit more strict about, please have a ticket in order to come in. It's for the cause, guys. You just got to fork up the money. If you wouldn't hesitate to go 110 inside, you should not be blinking twice to buy a $100 ticket that all the proceeds goes to the veterans.
Yes, it does. Right. And I had a conversation with John today about, like you said, the low attendance. But because of the venue changes with CQ and then also going to Palace Station, it may not be such a bad thing, but we definitely want people to donate and come out and participate with that. I've been involved in all of them, as you know. Last year I may not have been there, but I made a sizable donation from the channel. And the very first one, I was one of the first people that John had on from his basement in his home in Seattle on the first year. So,
Jen, don't they have a private table lined up at the station? Which one? Which station?
It's Palace.
What's the name of
Palace? Yeah,
Palace Station. So, but to get on the table, you got to have the armband that comes with buying the ticket, correct?
That's right. And the sexy
All right,
ticket.
so I'm going to buy me a ticket. I just need to know what the hours are for the table.
Well, that would be amazing. I think a lot of people would love to shoot with you, Ed. Even if you don't have a good roll, which is almost never, you can learn something watching how people don't bet or bet, in a good roll or a not roll. I think. So it'll be nice to meet your wife too. I think about her. I thought about her during the speech last. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know that she's going to be up to coming down to the event, but I will be there. Okay. She hasn't decided yet. It'll be tough. It'll be tough. She loves that pup though. We've seen the pictures.
Oh, so cute little thing.
Yeah.
Let's put the dates out there. So it's Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and 14th of September next month, a month away. And a lot of us are coming in the 11th and 12th, and most of them people are leaving on the 15th, the 14th or the 15th. But that's the date, September 12th and the 13th. It'll be held at the CQ Casino Quest. If you're not familiar with Casino Quest, you probably are not on YouTube. And also the live stuff or the table stuff will be done at Palace Station, one of the station casinos on the north side of town. Northwest, is it? North, something like that. It's local. Yeah. The Palace Station is one of the local places.
Yeah. South of the Strip, and it actually has good food. So, all the station casinos, Vegas is hurting a lot. So we were just there a couple of weeks ago. They have like a $5.99 cheeseburger deal, at night. That's like
cheeseburger, chip.
Delicious.
Nobody knows that routine.
Oh wait, is this an old show joke?
No, it's not an old show joke. It's a Saturday Night Live skit from years gone by. Cheeseburger, chip. Anyway, let it go. Move on. So the three of us have met in person. We've played craps together. We've dined together. We've joked and maybe even shed a tear or two together, both at the table and off the table. But it's the craps community, Jen. Your intake as a somewhat part-time YouTuber without her own channel. Talk about the craps community, whether it be from East Coast to West Coast, and maybe even out of the states. I know a couple people that love to play at the Atlantis. I don't know if you've ever played there or not, but down in the Bahamas. But
oh yeah, I played there. Yeah, that's actually a super good venue because it's not American rules, but they have skilled dealers. It's beautiful. If you are Caesars Diamond Elite, you get a free trip out there for 2 days. They do need you to have I think $100 average bet, which you can make that work. You can play a bunch of edgy strategies that will count. And it's a good time. The community is interesting because I would never meet someone like Ed, right? Roll Tide or Waylon, I would just never know you. Or someone like Fran, who's super eccentric. Maybe I'd run to Jeff, but really you realize that you can get along, and we have way, way, way more in common than we have different. And it's just, in these times you hang on to these dear friendships, and you realize it's gonna be okay. Like everything's gonna be okay. Everyone's like a good person. Everyone's good human beings. Let's have fun and try not to give all your money to the casinos because they're sucking so much more and more. Like the edges are up. There's a quadruple like roulette. I mean, it's like a bunch of turds, and they need to turn the tide. And it's great that we have each other to lean on, and it all walks of life, small budget, big budget, and we respect everybody's budget. I mean, I love when Ed picks on people, but it's it's all in good fun. It's never really a mean thing unless they're really out there to sell snake oil, and then Ed just goes right after them, and it's great.
Well,
Thank you, Jen. Yeah, I really enjoyed having her when she comes into Biloxi every year. Look for her to come in. I'm looking everywhere to see if Jen's landed and come in yet.
Yeah, but she's got this twin that hangs out with her. That's really not her twin. He's about the same height, maybe just a couple inches taller than she is. He goes by the name of Ryan. He may be with some YouTube channel that's called like Mark the Point or something. But them two are like this.
He's so cute. He's like my little brother. He follows me everywhere. It's so great.
That's exactly what it looks like.
He's awesome.
And we know who wears the pants in that relationship too. It's you, Jen, because when you bark, he jumps.
No, it's his wife for sure. No, she's the boss.
I can actually talk about him because he's not here, so we can talk about him. But anybody got a question for Jen? Put it in a queue, and we'll ask her. We are kind of didn't know how long this show was going to go. Some people have to work in the morning.
Jen, she thinks, while questions are getting queued in for you, let's ask Jen what she thinks of Biloxi, because you asked me. Jen, what's your thoughts on Biloxi?
That's like one of my favorite meetups, right? I mean, it's I would never have flown there ever. I don't, it's not an area I would think of, but it is like a little bit of a mini Vegas in that there's a bunch of casinos around. You can't walk to it necessarily.
Right.
But it's really nice to play
easy.
around. Smaller table minimums, better comps. I think May is a really good time to go because it's not so awful hot. Like that July meetup looks like, woo, that might be a little tough, but it is like the best event. It's amazing that Ed does not charge for it, because easily he could charge for that event. It's so much fun. We go and we have drinks.
No, we need to change our plan a little bit. How much?
I'm out.
Yeah, but you know what's different about that, Jen, and I like it, and Ed talked about this after the second year, because share frustrations with putting one of these things together, and it can be quite daunting. But you come in, you stay where you want to stay. The VIP room's open until it fills up. There's no cost in it. He arranges it with the casino and the host, and the bartenders come in. All you got to do is tip them, and they give us the room for an hour or two. And I know I missed a little bit because I was out there in that blackjack tournament. Anyway, but it's so charging a fee. I think it's very, even a nominal fee. It gets to be too much when the host is involved with making decisions. Is that wrong, Ed, to say that?
Say that again, because
as a host, if you have to make all these arrangements for all these people, and you're inundated with your people that want your attention during the week, it can get. I found that to be that way, and I guess with Jeremy, a color up, he pays a big fee, but he's around.
Yeah, I know. And Jeremy, I think, charges some fee for whatever.
Yeah.
There's no fee for the Brownwater Bash. You show up at your own expense, stay at your own place, meet people, have a good time. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I learned the first year that I had to parse myself in a different way than I normally would, because I'm just there to kind of meet and greet and shake hands, play a little craps when I can. So it's a different mindset that you have to kind of go into, so right, Jen? I mean, there's plenty of places to go.
Yes,
Well,
they're
you were run so ragged. I think it's more like it's more casual. Biloxi's different. Color Up is more, there's like giveaways, like specific meetings, like an actual
topics,
itinerary.
breakouts. Yeah.
Yeah. This is more like come, say hi, have fun. Please tip the bartenders. Tip the host if you can. I mean, I was thinking more like you could charge a nominal, like everyone donate $5 into like a jar or something, and then we just hand it out to the host. But it's
Well,
more casual, and that's what's nice
Yeah.
about it.
I think Oz did pass the hat, didn't he? Didn't Oz pass the hat when we were in the
Yeah,
VIP
yeah,
room?
and that was for
Yeah.
Krista. Though. That was for Krista. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was. Yeah.
Now, one thing we're going to do at the table that we've got set up at the boys club is we're going to put a little tote box or a tote jar up. So when we bring people in, he says, bring a chip, whatever denominations you want to bring from any local casino, and drop them in the jar for it. That's a way to toke our host at the boys club, boys and girls club. So
Oh yeah. That's a
that's what
unique
we're going to
thing.
do there.
Here's a question, maybe not for Jen, but for everybody that's here. What's everyone's average color up down percentage during the past 3 craps sessions? Percentages. Win, win, and win, but not by much.
well, that's too vague. The question's too vague, right? It's
Well,
like
Jen, I think you know why he's asking it. From probably the chat earlier today that was passing around. But I mean, I had a win, 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 but not much. I mean, between travel and back and forth and eating, I probably didn't win.
exactly right. You can color up 80% of the time, and if it's a tiny percentage, but then when you color out and you're like lost a big amount, it just negates every bit of that big win. So I think he's asking like, are you up and down for the year? Because I don't think percentages really matter.
It says sessions, past 3 craps sessions, not seasons, but sessions. But either way, I don't brag about my wins and losses. I do share stories with my losses. That's one of the conversations John and I had earlier today about playing and all the YouTubers out there that are showing all the big wins and they're holding up the color up chips with the look what I did. And I don't do that, but I've always done that, as you know, Jen, follower of my channel for a number of years. I share the losses as I do the wins, and sometimes the losses are a monstrosity of losses that I should have kicked myself for staying that long. Not so much now as it was in the past, but I do wins and losses, but I don't give totals because there's so much fictitious declarations with people. Anyway, I won't go on. Ed, 3 sessions, win, win, win.
Well, 3 trips or 3 sessions? That's
Exactly.
the question, right?
Yep.
I mean,
That's true.
because I've been to Biloxi 3 times in the last 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Last weekend, though, I mean, we played. What did we play? I got there. When did I get there? I got there Friday. Played Friday night. It was positive. We played Saturday morning. It was positive. We played Saturday night, and Oz and I got in a race to see who could win the most. He beat me by $100. I colored up 5,500. He colored up 5,600 on the Crapless
Nice.
table.
Hey.
Then we played one session Sunday morning, and I was not real fond of that session, but I was probably down a couple of $300 when it all said and done. So I mean, it was a good trip for me. I didn't, I had to drive back. Now they stayed on Oz, 220 inside, Aloha Johnny. They were there till I think Tuesday, so they played on. Oz got some serious heat at a local joint down there, and there's some people involved, and there may be some jobs lost at some point here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you need a lawyer?
Don't mess with that.
Here she
Hey,
goes.
I
like what
Don't mess
I like,
with the Oz. Don't mess.
I
with
like
the
what
Oz.
Arnell says here. I like what he says. Unless they show the win-loss statement, you can't believe what a person shows. In my opinion, and I agree with you 100%, Arnell.
He makes a very good point. I don't know anybody that shows them, and I don't show mine either. But I always look at them because I got to do these tax things every year, and that's part of what I look at. And even though it's not an actual document that the IRS will apply, you got to have your own records to back those up. But you look at your win-loss statements and you go, well, why do I even play at this particular casino? I never win there, right? And I can go to like the Hard Rock, and I like every year I'm positive. I'm positive something, or I'm positive a lot. Whatever the number is, I'm positive. So why do I play at the Beau Rivage? Well, because I'm stupid. That's it. That's all I can tell you.
Well,
I don't play that. I haven't set foot at the Beau Rivage and maybe
the year
twice,
before
maybe in the whole year. Yeah,
I didn't go last year. We played at the Palace and the Hard Rock this past year. Before that, I played at several casinos. But look, here's a question from Alan: What casinos in Biloxi do you play at? So, take it away.
I play at, obviously, Hard Rock is my home casino. I enjoy playing at the IP when you can get the right vibe at the table, I guess I want to put it, because there are a lot of locals come in there. Got great tables, great crews and great tables. It's just sometimes the vibe gets kind of weird. And then we did do a trip over the 4th of July. We went down. I haven't played at the Golden Nugget down there in probably 3 years. And they had added the ATS, and I wanted to go check it out, and I planned to go back. I wanted to go back down there this weekend, but I didn't get to go. But it is on my definite go back and play some more list, because I liked what I was seeing at the table as far as the dice reaction, plus it had the bonus bet.
No, right. And Camper actually said that he needs to learn. Let me put that back up here. We'll come back to Brian's. My goal is to learn when to leave. As a camper, I tend to camp out way too long, so down for the last 3. And that's the whole thing. You definitely need to know when to leave and when the right time is to leave, and it's not when you're broke. And I never break my rule. I don't play at the ATMs in casinos, so I never go to an ATM if I take in what I'm willing to lose that session, and if it's gone, I'm done. And I typically leave well before that. In my local area, I only have one table at each casino, so I can't go to casino because they're so far apart. Here in the local area, and they only have one table open, so it's not like being in even Biloxi, Atlantic City, some of these other places that have multiple casinos. I know
leaving a table is critical, dude. I mean, you gotta know, leave with a small loss versus a big loss. Leave with a small win versus a small loss. I believe a lot of people are up at different times during a session, and they just don't leave when they're up, and they should.
Jen, someone that has a $500 buy-in and doubles it earns more than a $5,000 buy-in that makes $1,000.
I know what he means. He's saying he's looking at efficiency. So if you buy it for $500 and you color up for $1,000, you've made $100, right? You've doubled your money. You're at 100%. Versus someone like me who will buy in for $5,000 and I'm looking for 20%. I'll win $1,000. I'm out of there. So is 100% better than 20% is what he's saying. And I say it's really about absolute dollars. To me, I would rather have 1,000 than 500. But if you're happy with your $500 win, good for you. Great.
That brings us to the part, Jen, on buy-ins versus your average bet or when your percentage. Somebody buying in for $500, putting a $30 6 and 8 out there with $60, do the percentage of $60 into 500, where somebody going, 620 across with a $5,000 buy-in, their percentage of their buy-in is so much smaller. Now, granted, I don't play at 40 across is what I meant to say, but I don't play that. But so you get into these fine lines. It's like an accountant can say you can make the numbers speak any way you want to make them speak, and I think lawyers say that too. I don't really know. That's a joke, Jen. But so if you don't have deep pockets, you have to be. The discipline is a key. Bankroll management before you even roll the dice or make a bet. If you don't have those, then just play at a slot machine. That's my philosophy.
I think Ed will yell at you if you go 640 across, no matter what buy-in you have. But it's Mark Twain. He said, "There's lies, damn lies, and statistics." So you can manipulate the money, and actually, Ed and I are major numbers people, so you can manipulate it however you want. And I'm good with someone like winning 100%. It's just that you have to play much riskier to get that kind of roll, or you got to walk into luck. And to me, with $500, I don't have long to last there. And, you know, you'd have to wait forever to have 6 and 8 win you $500, unless you just roll into, you know, a repeater 6 and 8.
Well, you saw somebody put in there about a
I'm going to
$500
say
volume with
something.
$10.
I'm going to
Yeah, go
say
ahead.
something. Can I
Go
say
ahead.
something?
Yeah.
There's two viewpoints on this, as I see it. There's Ed's viewpoint and everybody else's. No, I'm kidding. But all right, so when people talk about buying in with 500 and winning 500, they're probably betting on everybody pretty much the same kind of a way, whatever their way of betting is. When you're in the DI mentality that I'm in, I'm going to win more money off myself most often, not always, but most often, than just the other people that are at the table. But the DI will also learn how to take advantage of some random person's really crazy hot roll. That happened to me twice this last weekend. I mean, people were shooting lights out and they had no influence on the dice, but they were shooting the same way, they were tossing the same way, and they were landing in the same spot, and the right numbers kept hitting over and over and over. And, you know, Ed, being Ed, is going lights out on these folks, and there's a lot of people not even placing bets, including the shooter. The shooter was doing pass line. This is on it. The shooter was doing pass line and odds only, no box numbers. I'm sitting there with a $700 9. And he's already hit the point. He's already hit the point of 9 3 times before I even got to place a 9. Because I was doing, because he come out with a 7. You know what? This is true. He came out with a 7. And so I watched him toss, and I said, I'm going to put a pass line down and see if he throws another 7. I'll make $15. Right? He set the point as 9. I like 9s. Next thing I know, he just hit another point. I mean, I went $50, then I went $100 on the next point, then I went $150 odds on the third time, and he hit that. When he set the different number as a point, I went $80 on the 9 as a place bet, and run that sucker up to $500. I mean, you got to be willing to catch those rolls and recognize them when you see them, and those are things that you learn by experience, I think. I really think that's more of an experience thing. You just learn to read what's happening in the moment at a table.
Ed and Jeff
Because I
are.
turned around one time I had like 4 lay bets out there, and I turned around and told Oz, I said, if I don't take those odds down, he's going to knock every one of those off, and he's going to roll a 7. And that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying, Jim?
So you just kind of learn it.
And I think I can attest that Ed is very aggressive when it's a hot roll. Like he'll put the foot right on the throat. Actually, Jeff is a very aggressive. You wouldn't think it, but he goes out pretty big, and he can press. And so, and I have no doubt, just that Brian Holy Roller is a more efficient player than I am. I just don't care about being super efficient. I'm trying to grind out a win, so almost all the time I will have ground out a win for the session, but I'm deficient. Like I bludgeon the table with a bankroll, whereas Ed doesn't need that as his crutch, and I want that, right? I'll miss the roll, but I don't care. I'm gonna be satisfied winning a couple hundred, unless you roll for 107, then I'm upset I didn't win 100,000. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
No. You said that I'm an aggressive bettor. I always wasn't like that, Jen, and it's only been probably the last 18 months. I've had some excellent experiences where I didn't take a class, but I've gotten enough education from fine players such as Ed and many others, and but I'm a bigger, better, fast regression, and if it turns into a long roll, I'm going to make a damn lot of money. If it doesn't, I've lost the minimum that I'm willing to lose on on a shooter. And I'll tell you, those short rolls before you regress all the way down to whatever your base is, they happen and they hurt. So if you're betting bigger, I mean, that's one of, I think Ed would contest that that's one of the things that somebody just put into the fear of missing out. But it's made a world of difference in my play, not throwing the dice, but managing the money where I've lost very little and won more times bigger amounts than I have. So, it's I don't want to tell somebody that you bring more, win more, and make bigger bets, because if you don't have the patience and discipline to know where you're going with each bet, 330 across, and I'm down to 110 inside or 330 inside with whatever I put on the 4 and 10, which, as you know, I run as a gambit. Just flip it. But the inside numbers on the 5, 6, 8, 9, I'm typically down to a 110 is my base. And if it's a point, I have odds and so forth. But I'm taking the odds down too as I go along. And typically by 6 rolls, I'm out of the hand. I try to get out of there by 4. And if somebody's lucky enough to hit those box numbers, even on a 6 or 7 roller, I'm $100 to the good, easily.
A question for you guys. So I think what I'm seeing when I the last 2 meetups is people buying for 1,000, and they'll go like 220 or 270 across, right? And that's like 4 bullets. I mean, and then I get teased because I'm like, well, if I do 110, first of all, I'll probably one count it, but usually I'll try to do like a Dewey Doan and then 76 inside, and try to build it up, which is let me get your thoughts on like what do you think of that proportion of like rollout versus your bankroll?
I think George has a chat in here that sort of goes along with what I think you're trying to hit on. It's on my channel, not on Ed's channel. By the way, we're dual streaming, guys, so you may see some chats that's not there. But he says, on a serious note, though, math is in favor of a higher bankroll simply because of your deeper regression ability. But anyway, answer her question. Jen, you may have to rephrase it.
No, I think Ed knows what I was saying, right?
Okay.
1,000 bankroll, 220 inside, or 270 across.
That's way too much bet on $1,000
$1,000 bankroll. I agree. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, $1,000 bankroll probably shouldn't be betting
110, not even 110.
Yeah, not even that. I'm not even going to say that. They should probably attempt an iron cross and see if they can get some free bets on the table with that. A 5, 6, and 8. Or just a 5, 6, and 9 at 66 inside, for example. Maybe
if the table limit permits it,
Yeah, if it's a $15 table. If it's a $25 table, then they need to rethink it. I mean, do you want to go 110, or do you want to go $30 6 and 8? Maybe see if you can get a hit. Do you want to take the first hit on a 6 or 8 and cover the 5, drop some change in the field? I mean, there's all kind of ways to play it, but you got to play it on the cheap, but you got to be smart about it. And when I talk a lot about when you're playing skinny, and that means you don't have a big bankroll, you've got to be careful. When you're playing skinny, you got to play careful, and you cannot go out there with 220 inside on $1,000 buy-in and expect to survive, because you're going to get whacked.
Unless you're going with 5 bullets, ish. If you think that you're going to go out there and you're going to play 5 times, which is a dumb way to play.
Dumb or not, you're not going to make it.
No, you're not.
Right?
You've got to understand, everybody. A lot of players out there, they look at casino and they think they can beat the odds. But face it, if they didn't make money, they wouldn't be open. And this is definitely a negative EV game, and a lot of people ignore that thought process. If you're going to go,
they'll be better off. They'll be better off if you just want to buy a little time. You'll be better off betting $19 don't pass, $18 6 and 8. You're either going to win $1 or $2, right? If we get
that type of play is what I was going to say, Ed. That's when you go with a bunch of people just have party atmosphere to drink and blow a couple $100. If you win a couple $100, great. You lose a couple $100, it is what it is. That's party time.
You're going to play a lot. Playing that way, you're going to have a hard time winning a couple $100. You might win 50, or you're going to lose 50. But
no, you're right.
You're not going to. Yeah, I know. Old Spice is hard to play skinny when you're a big guy, but we're talking about bankroll.
Yeah, I think they're hoping to regress quick, right? They're hoping for 2 hits and out. But if you got 2 PSOs, now you're up shit's creek, really. I played with George. He brings an adequate sized bankroll, pretty big bankroll, and he'll go 640 across, and he's looking for 2 hits, then he's out. Which makes
Yep.
sense. But it's really because he's packing a 5,000 bankroll for like every session, so that makes sense to me.
Well, there's a person that taught me about the regression, and I'm not going to mention the name because he's not on YouTube that often very much anymore. So go with that. And he's been on YouTube since 2013, so most people know what I'm talking about. He travels 45 minutes to get to a casino. He buys in with $2,000 to $3,000. He goes the 1320 across on himself and 96 across on everybody else. He makes $1,000 and he drives home 45 minutes, and he does that 4 out of 5 times a week. And when he's not having any luck and he's out a certain percentage of what he's done for that week, he's done. And that regression just makes sense. And I know that I spit out some numbers there. If you want to know, send me an email, Jeff at midatlanticcraps.com. I'll explain it better. But that's how I changed my philosophy of betting higher. I mean, I played with you and Ryan was doing 220 inside, actually 270 because he put the quarter on the, and he regressed down. And that's a good way to go. But on a short table, it's the same way with me doing 330 inside. You can get hammered and you can get hit. It doesn't take very many of them to hurt you. If you can't afford it, don't do it.
You used to do 76 inside, right, Jeff? And then you switched.
No, I'm doing Ryan was doing 220, and I'm doing 330 and 220 and down. I'm down. I don't go by how many hits I get, Jen. I go by the total number of rolls in the hand. If the person throws three craps numbers by the 4th roll, I'm at table minimum. Doesn't matter whether I won or not. I'm at what I consider table minimum. At a $15 table, that would be 66 or 96 across, 66 inside. Depends on the point. But I don't go by. If I don't get paid, I'm still coming down. A lot of people do the regression where they want to get a box hit. Okay, they won their 105 or their 140 or whatever the case may be. They want another one, and they don't regress. I regress each and every single time. Every roll. By 4 to 6 rolls, I'm out of the hand. And if it goes that long, then I'm making money. If it doesn't, then I'm at my base. And if my base is counting the prop action, if I'm going to spend $100 to $150 a shooter, and that's very possible, and I lose it, then I lose it. But that's my mentality when I go. I'm not leaving that 330 out there to get 2 or 3 hits. If it happens, it happens. I'm just down every roll, and I think that's a big difference between the way people regress.
I see. So you regress whether you get a hit or not. Right, so you're peeling down every single roll.
And the dealers don't like it, but typically on that 3rd roll, I'm throwing them $6, so I'm making some change in there and putting them up inside, across. And it depends, on the dealer. But they get to know you, what you're doing, and I typically say, here's 330 inside. I'm coming down 110 every single roll, and they look at me like weird, and then they sort of get it, and they just do it. I'm a big tipper. I mean, I am, Jen. I mean, I tip very well.
Yeah, I think we all tip. I mean, Ed will tell you that you'll never make any money on my rolls because I'll roll like horns for like 6 in a row before I even.
if they're all cutouts.
I always I put you on the Crapless, girl. Put you on the Crapless.
The come-outs, Ed would love it. That $25 whirl with a $5 ace deuce, he loves it.
Yeah, he's a spectacular. Ed needs to give us like you have to show us your Crapless tutorial because you're very efficient with Crapless. Like you'll just park out in that 12. I have an easier time hitting a 12 than I do an 8. And Ed will parlay that, and then all of a sudden I know like he's got like $600 and I've only rolled like 4 rolls. I'm like, God, where'd all the money come from?
Yep.
That's one of the things we've got built into this table down in Biloxi is we've got 1/2 of it, Jen, as a Crapless table so that we can teach it down there because it's so prevalent. So that's be one of the things we'll be teaching down there at our events.
You're talking about the Casino Tiers one? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And if somebody wants to hook up with me on a different date that I mentioned, like Thursday or Friday before the Brownwater Bash, what have you. Anyway, we put it on there on purpose so that we can use it and teach it as part of the experience. People trying to learn Crapless, we'll dive a little deeper into that at those events.
Yeah, if I can go, I'm just gonna sorry to be a snob, but I'm gonna invite 2 people, and I'm just gonna book you guys out, and just gonna be the 3 of us. And sorry, everybody. I'm sorry,
All right.
but I need more Ed time.
Book it.
I hate to be the burden of bad news. I don't want to continue to. I'd love to continue to do this show further on, but as time goes by, we're going to do 2 questions. We're going to do one from Arnell on my channel, and one from Brian on Ed's channel. It's the first one is, what are your thoughts on lower bankroll hedging to start? And Ed, you kind of touched on this about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, but we'll start with you. I know Jen does a little bit of that.
I'm not a fan of hedging because you end up not winning. I understand the mentality of trying to do that because you're trying not to lose, but in the end, you don't win. So, you can hedge the 6, 7, 8 is a hedge play, ever how you want to play it, and that's about as far as I'd recommend on a small bankroll. Because you need to win some money on a small bankroll, and if you hedge too much, you won't win money.
All right, Jen. I know that you play, I think, the way Brian's talking. So, what is? I don't know that you hedge per se, but you like that.
Yeah.
Pick a side, Jen. Pick a side.
That's right. I, as you know, I swing both ways, but I used to hedge. If you hedge, it's just a slow death, like Ed says. So what I do is not necessarily a hedge. It looks like a hedge. I actually am a fan of the way Brian plays for, if it's very short, like if you lay a number just so you can get your point established and you're just fighting against come out 7, but you don't want to hop the reds because you don't want to cost yourself $15. I kind of understand that because you're a low bankroll. You can't afford to just drop $20 like every come out roll. I get it. But what I do is a do don't, which is a little bit different. And a do don't, the only thing that can hurt you is a 12. The reason you would do a do don't, let's say it's for $25 on the pass line, 25 on the don't pass, is so that you can do a lay bet without paying a vig, and you can adjust the lay bet without annoying the dealer to death. So if the point is a 10, I'll put some odds on the don't 10, let's say 100. Then I can move it down to 50. I can move it up to 60, whatever I want to establish so that 6 and 8 can hit. But then you have to take it down. These don'ts are too expensive to win a little. You feel like you're safe, you're not safe. Because as soon as some snipe sharpshooter is going to get it, now you cost yourself $100 that would have been much better to go, 110 inside. Instead, you've just thrown it away on a lay 10. So I'm not a fan. I do like it if you're going to incrementally grind out a bigger bankroll so you can build a bigger bankroll so you can play more. I think that's okay.
Well, you mentioned the do don't, and what do you do when you play at a casino that doesn't permit it? And yes, there are casinos that don't do that. I mean, everywhere you play, do they permit the do don't?
Yeah, just about everywhere. Even Maryland Live, they just made up some crazy rule about it has to be the same amount. The only place that I've gone that doesn't permit it is in Washington State, and those Indian casinos don't understand. So if you do a do don't, you need at least a table minimum at risk, but they don't understand that your pass line is always at risk on the come out. A 12 comes, it knocks out the pass line, and you push on the don't, so you will lose your do don't. But they'll do, like, let's say if I do a $25 don't pass, I need a $35 pass line. They need it offset to at least hit the table minimum. But I whatever. It's not worth doing it there. You're just better do what Ed says. Go lay the point, do your 6 and 8 for a little bit, and then pull that scary lay down.
No, I understand. And I was looking at what Wesley from Florida Crap Shooter said there about laying the back wall. If the table is empty, it's a great thing to do. But if you're at a full table and you're laying the back wall, oh man, will you get not only will the dealers get at you and the box person get at you,
the box will hate you,
and the players would do the same thing. Let's switch gears. Arnell, you're down. What is your recovery plan?
I'm assuming it's addressed to Ed, even though Ed's never down. I don't know.
That's not so.
That is not true at all. Yeah. That is not true at all. Yeah. My recovery plan is lay it all on Ed when it's time for Ed to shoot. That's ultimately what that boils down to. We did that.
Can't bet on yourself.
Saturday. We did that Saturday morning. Oz was at stick left 1. I was at stick left 2, and we had a butcher of a session. And I said, "Are y'all trying to make me the savior of the table?" And he said, "Yep," because 220 inside had a short roll. Oz had a short roll, and I set the point, placed my bets, and I said, "Look, Oz, I got $8 left in my rack." He had $8 left in his rack. So we went all in. We colored up about $1,000 to the good, and then we went straight to the cage. That's what you got to do. Is when you dig out of that hole, or get even close to out of that hole, go to the cage. We just happened to get way out of the hole, but I mean honestly, that is my recovery plan. There's no magic bullet, no magic strategy that's going to bring you from 500 down to even. There is no such thing, but I'm not going to bet on jack legs at the table trying to get them to get me even. I'm going to sit there and wait, and I'm going to put it on my own self, and I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. I know that in advance. Right? I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it.
I'm a dummy when it comes to that, and I will wait. I will not bet on somebody until it comes to me, because if I'm going to lose this larger bet on my recovery system, I want to lose it on myself and take the blame for it, and not somebody else that does it that I have faith that they can shoot, but they don't succeed. So I go a little longer. And instead of coming down in 6 rolls, it's a tad bit longer than that. And I don't try to recover it all at once in one hand. That's the key that I see a lot of people try to do. It's like, if you're going to do that, just take the money over and stick it on something on a roulette table and spin the wheel. But I'm going to lose it on myself. So my recovery is on myself and not somebody else. And it's a larger bet if I have it in my rack. I know there's some questions about, well, if you're buying for that amount, you should be willing to lose that amount, versus I'm buying in with a larger amount. And some people say a 50% win loss. I don't necessarily agree with that. I know I don't specifically look at the amount I've lost. I look at the conditions of what's happening, and an hour or two of short rolls can happen and does happen quite often. And you sort of have to be willing to. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Jen, you have a recovery system. Let's move off me.
Yes. I really try not to lose like too much per shooter. I have a win goal per shooter, and if they PSO or something, after I one count they are just out, I will try to win that back in 2 shooters, right? And it's same bet. If you same bet, you should be able to recover a lot of it. And then what Ed said, which is, if you're down a lot, then it's just like, look, you got to roll your way out of the danger zone. And it's got to be on you, because when you get mad at other people for them shooting bad, it was you bet very poorly. You made a very poor decision on your bet. Now you can make a poor decision on your own roll, and then it's a little less upsetting. But that my recovery plan is basically don't get too keep it to divots instead of gigantic holes, and then you can take them back in small chunks, like Jeff is saying. And when all else fails, you can't win
in one hand.
You cannot win it in one hand. Even on yourself, you should be regressing. You absolutely should be regressing.
Oh, I do. I regress on my shooting. I play this thing. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. How I was, it's regress every roll. It's not regress every time I get paid. That's not it.
Yeah, you should show this, Jeff. I've been really impressed the last couple of times we've been playing, because it's different than when we first met up at AC. You just play totally different.
Oh,
you're more aggressive on the get-go. You're really quick to get out, and I think you're always winning. It's amazing.
Atlantic City in 22, Jen. That was 5 days of hell for me. I did the meetup. I had my first meetup and my only meetup. I had 45 people show, working with a host in the casino with 3 days of private tables. It was just the highlight of that, Jen, was our dinner with Chris Dystesian and a few others at that place that was featured on Guy Fieri's Diane's Divers and Drives, or Dive-In, whatever it is. It's getting late, but yeah, it is. Jenno, I wish you had come on the show earlier when we first started. It would have been nice to have this conversation. I know Ed's looking at his watch, and I'm looking at it, but I've enjoyed this tonight. I don't want to stop it right now. We did get to that question about recovery. I'm going to put this up here. Joe, we have talked about this in the show twice now. The date is actually May.
Brownwater Bash number 4.
Yep,
Joe.
4. That's true.
Oh, yeah. You already had number 3.
Yes, and what was the May 16th, 17th? Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up here now. Joe, go back up and then fast forward to about an hour into the show. Ed goes through about 6 or 7 different dates and makes an announcement about some neat things that he's doing there. But it's May. Yeah, it's in May.
It's the weekend. It's the weekend after Mother's Day.
Yeah,
that's exactly
what I was going to say.
Is.
Yep. Anything else you guys want to share with us? I mean, Ed, it's just unbelievable that 2.5 hours has just flown by for a show like this. And we called this. I can't put it up here while Jen's on here. We called this Beyond the Passline, No Chips Left Unturned. I think we've answered most of the questions that have come in that I've seen that people followed the format. So we didn't leave any questions unturned.
I would just say to the people out there, we appreciate you watching and commenting and during the show. And if you'd like for us to do more of us, just let us know. Post it in the comments after it's up there. Let us know you want more. We'll try to figure out a way to do more. I mean, hell, Jeff, you and I hadn't been on like this in over a year, dude.
Almost a year. Christmas time.
At least Christmas. At least Christmas of last year was the last time we did a show like this, and that's insane. Well, we should have done it, but we hadn't had a chance, and you got other things going, so do I. But we need to do more. If people want more, we'll do it. I don't know that we can set our calendar by it, but we will do more.
No, with your schedule, Ed, you're still working, and you've got the podcast. You've got the experiences now coming to Biloxi as well, in addition to the Brownwater Bash.
Yeah. I'm excited as I can be about that. Now, nobody may want to do it, and that's fine too. But then we'll just won't have any dates. But we're given the opportunity to see what the market wants to do. That's all we can do.
Yeah, with everybody's schedule, it's really hard. And if you know what I have going on, you understand the reason why I have not been doing my usual shows, my entertainment shows, I should say, my educational. I can't even pronounce the word now. There you. Thank you, Jen. Yes, I don't even do those anymore. Where I act like a fool and roll the dice and shoot the breeze and break sticks and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, you see the comments coming in, Ed. I'm putting them up there. There are many people that have said, and some people that I highly respect. Not that I don't respect everybody that's here tonight, saying that that they want more of these type shows, and I hope so. I had a conversation today with someone that I told him, I said, look, Ed and I have no idea what we're going to talk about outside of he's going to make a couple announcements, and we're just going to go on and shoot the breeze. And I started out the show that way, that's what we're going to do. And here we are with a good show.
And there's Waylon. There was Waylon. Thank you, Waylon. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Comes to Brownwater.
The Brownwater Bash is a good time. For most people, I think it's a really good time. So the hard part for me is, we try to do a private table. I'm just going to lay it out there like it is. We try to do a private table. The casino has input. I have input. And last year, people just trying to force their way into the table. And I was so mad, I was like, I'm not ever doing this again. So let me just tell you people right now, if you're not on the table, you're not on the table. It's just the way it works, because it's always late, and it's late in the event. It's not really even part of the event. It's just something that people do. I have input, Oz has input, and the casino has the last word. You know, when you've got people trying to force their way into it when we're doing a lunch break, you are never, ever getting on the table. Ever.
Even if you
Trying
go
to force your
behind,
way in.
yep.
You're trying
You
to
go-
force your way in there while we're at lunch. You just might as well stay home. You're never getting on the table. I'm telling you that
Yep.
up front.
The amount of people, Ed, that said to me, "Hey, how can I get on the table?" Before we even got there, I said, "Look, I don't have anything to do with it. Ed's a friend of mine. I'm going down to support him. He and one other person handles the private table, and there are requirements." And I think I actually told them, if you don't have the $5,000 buy-in, which we won't talk about that, but if you don't have a buy-in, you don't have the ADT, and you're not part of the group that they know who you are, you're not going to be able to get on the table. We had a lot of people in 2022 that came because they wanted to play with experienced shooters, not DIs, not controlled shooters, not whatever, but they thought they were going to have a better chance at winning money. And I told them, I said, if you don't have the bankroll and the chip rail management along with discipline, you're not going to win any money. It's
Can I comment, Jeff?
Sure.
I didn't know about the private table, but I mean, guys, don't get offended. There, the casino's there to make money. The host needs to make money, so they really need you to have a very high average bet. So you're going to see people there who have deeper pockets and big bets, right? Like just no fear of big bets. If you want to go make money, but outside of the private table, and I agree, Biloxi Bet is the best place to go for a meetup and actually make money. You can play with Ed and Jeff and Gargoyle, but it's early in the morning and at night. So like these small snippets of time, don't sleep. Just be awake the whole time at Hard Rock, and you will catch them, and they will roll well. I mean, Jeff was rolling monsters. And sometimes, we'll go outside of Biloxi and also like have a good time. So you can make money. You can do this, just not at the private table.
Jen, I didn't have a lot of monsters. It just seems like you were my lucky charm, you and Ryan. It seems like every time you were at the table, I was like, wow, there's another
30
mid-teen, 20, 30 plus,
You
rolling.
threw like a 33, buddy. What are you talking about? Yeah, every time I was there.
I mean, it was just
Jeff,
like you were.
Jeff always seems to have some of the longest rolls of the weekend.
I don't have many of them, but I can squeeze one out every once in a while. Just like I always say, a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. So, in any event.
And the private table last year was a little bit of a grind for me. It took until way late in the evening before I really got nicely positive, I would say.
Well, the craps tables, the Crapless table, I said it earlier, that was my savior. I mean, I won some money with Jen. She thinks I won a lot of money that trip, but I made money. I lost money during the daytime in the morning sessions, and I made money on the Crapless. I said that earlier in the show. And it's because I was betting too big on other people, or playing too many hands, too many bets out on the table. It's just, short rolls. It's just, it's a killer. I mean, and that's what the casino wants. They want you to put more money out, and they anticipate the shorter roll.
I mean, they told me I could have 4 private tables a year if I wanted it, but I hadn't taken advantage of it because.
Oh my God, let's do it. Let's make money.
I didn't want to say that, Ed. I know Oz was watching earlier. I didn't want to put that out there, but the facts is that the facts is the facts.
The crews loved us. The box people loved us. The floor loved us. They liked the way that we played. We didn't give them a hard time. We all knew how to play craps. We all knew how to play craps. And the tips were good. Oh. They couldn't get any more tips than the tote box. The tote box was slam full.
Ed, we had this discussion, and maybe we'll end on this note. It doesn't matter where you're playing, but if you have a private table like that, or maybe like the group in Atlantic City takes over a table, and they want the type of play. I know in your point, they wanted you to come back. I don't know anybody that lost money out of the 2 private tables I've been to in Biloxi. So you beg to say, why do they want you to come back? Well, here's the reason. You're not only going to play at that private table, you're going to play elsewhere, and you're going to spend money, within the casino and so forth. So, if I had to take a guess, how much money was won last year, I'm pretty sure I know what it was, but this year, I don't think a casino could take that type of hit, night after night after night, or weekend after weekend, of a group like that. But to tell them, for them to tell you that they want you to come back, and knowing the amount of money that they didn't win, that we won, the amount of money that we won. It just seems odd that they would say, come on down, you're the next contestant.
Well, they offered me three more tables a year, dude.
That's what I'm talking about.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And it's because of the etiquette of the players. It's because of the play of the players. It's because of how we treated their personnel, their employees. Their employees loved us, dealers, box, floor. And they give us, when we do it, they give us the best of the best that they've got available at that time. Every time.
Yep.
So what more can you ask for? But, I haven't taken advantage of that. Probably should have, but we haven't done it.
Well, I mean, there's so much going on, and you plan the one event a year, and you get each year grown. And I was the count keeper on the amount of people. I counted the person that came, and if they had a significant other with them, and then I counted them not the same day. So I know that I saw 75 different people.
Wow.
There throughout that 3-day time period. I know it's a weekend, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But and I saw that many people. And each day I would tell Ed,
we went from 40 the second year, 40 something I think it was, and I was amazed we had 40, and now we had 75. Hell, we may have 100 next year.
And that's
wouldn't that be sweet?
Well, it would be if that's your goal. I'm sure we could hit that. I mean,
I don't have a goal. No, I don't have a goal.
I know you don't, but it's. The only thing you worry about is when you have your open VIP room or your hospitality room, do you have enough space? And although they have an outside deck that's exposed to the outside, it gets pretty hot down there in May.
Yeah, especially if you're from up north. That felt good outside to me, but we had a good crowd inside there. I mean that the fire marshal wasn't looming around with a ticket or anything, so we were okay.
And everyone was so nice. Yeah, they were so excited to meet you guys. The best. And you guys are so nice. You hug and shake everybody's hand, hand out chips. It's really fun.
Look, I mean, you got Sarge. Who else? You had Waylon down. You had Midmo. I mean, you had Mr. Yo. Who else? Great Craps there this year or last year.
Mudslide Mac.
Mudslide Mac popped in. You had
Ryan.
Ryan from Mark the Point. I mean, we had tons of YouTubers out there that people watch and pay attention to and like whatever. So, I mean, it's fun. It's a fun thing. We'll do that again. We'll see y'all. Anybody wants to show up in May. Don't email me. I don't care. Just come on down.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for a pre-head count.
Yeah. Mark the date.
Yeah.
All right.
Mark the date.
Yep. All right.
Wrap her up, dude. Wrap her up.
Yeah,
Wrap her up.
Yep.
Get
Jen
one
and
of these license.
Jen and Ed, thank you for indulging me during my. Ooh, what happened there, Jen?
Never said that enough.
Yeah.
She's like unfocused.
Yeah, indulging me on my way that my production of this this show tonight has been a little sketchy. It's not automated yet like my other shows, but I'll get there if we actually do this. I got a year, according to Ed. We're not going to do this again for another year, so I got some time to work on it.
You got some time, dude.
Yeah, I think we'll do it again. Well, Jen, for those of you who don't know, that's Justice Jen, and if there's a meetup, she's been to it or will be there. And it seems like every time I watch Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters, there's Jen. And Jen, if you remember 2 weeks ago when he was live from one of the stations casino, I told Brian in the chat, I said, tell Jen to stand up. And he actually said that. He said that on the show. I thought that was great. Look, we talked about him all show long, and look, he finally shows up here. But Ed, thank you for agreeing that we were going to do this type of show. And as most people probably won't agree, it was a spur of the moment, if you will. Jen, how we put this together was
it really was.
It was, and we kind of slapped it together and picked a date, and lo and behold, here we are doing was something that we didn't know what was going to actually occur, and we pieced it together, and 2.5 hours later, yes, John, 2.5 hours later, we're here with the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give each one of you a final word, then we're going to get out of here. Jen, we'll start with you.
Thanks for letting me crash the party. You guys are my very favorites.
Yep, Waylon's saying, he's throwing those hearts. He made me jealous when we were down there. Even though Alicia was there, I was jealous of him because you two look like you need to get a room or something. I mean, I just Oh my gosh. Let me see. Let me put this up here from John. Then we'll get to Ed. And then I'll get out of here because we do got to get going. Talked about me all the show long. Hopefully, it was good things to say. Go back and watch it, John. Isn't that what you tell me about your shows? Go back. Put it on 1.5 times. Yeah, put it on 1.5 times.
Start at the beginning there, John.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You're all right, Rowan. I appreciate that. Appreciate all the comments coming out there. Ed, your final comments. I do have to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to get going. We've been on way longer than I thought we would. I appreciate Jen for popping in. Next time we do this, maybe we can get a couple more people to pop in and out, just kind of rotate people in and out. That'd be great if we could do that.
Nope.
Jeff, I appreciate Jeff, I appreciate your production value and what you do to help me as a friend to put kind of show like this together. Dual streaming on both channels. We appreciate that. The craps community likes that. I think that I want to thank the people that just show up. Go back and look at the events. If you want to sign up for those events, let us know. We'll get you in touch with the right people, either Dice Coach or me. We'll get you hooked up. It's not going to be a problem until we overbook, and we're not going to be like an airline and overbook. We're just going to put on a waiting list. Practice like you play like you practice. Everybody go roll to win. Jeff, it's up to you now.
All right. I appreciate that, Ed. Thank you for the friendship and the opportunity to share this show with you. As you see up there, I changed screens. Jen's still with us. I just had to change screens. Right above us there, the title of the show is Beyond the Passline. No chips left behind or unturned. That says behind. It was unturned. I had that wrong on there, Ed. I'm surprised you didn't tell me that. We won't tell you about how we got that. Yeah, I'll fix that on the next one. But I appreciate that, everybody that's here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. When will the next show be? According to Ed, a year away. I'm a gambling person, and I say it'll be before a year. Does not count the Christmas holiday special that we do every year. Won't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. God bless each.
It might be in between my two Vegas trips or something. Or shortly after the second Vegas trip, which would be October. So we'll see.
That's encouraging. That's very encouraging. Look at this. We need Jen on Casino Tears podcast.
We do. We probably do need her on there.
Yeah. And real quick, we'll give that plug. Ed Robinson, who's with us, it's Roll2WinCraps, as you see right up there above his head. He's also with the Casino Tears podcast with 10 Ton, and he just does a whole lot of stuff. And believe it or not, he actually has a life where he has a family, and he has even little ones running across the floor above him. He's got this filter on, like Brian has the chicken filter. Ed's got the toy rolling filter on his side of it. But Ed does have a life. He's got a wife. I can tell you, I've met Tina. She's just a wonderful woman. I don't know how she puts up with him, but she does. But he's doing all these things. Anyway, guys, that's it. According to Ed, we're going to have another one of these. And I would like to do another one of these. We don't know what to expect. As always, guys, God bless each and every one of you. You two hang in there. Go ahead, Ed.
Appreciate each and every one of you. God bless everybody.
Yep.
Support Craps for the Cure. Support Craps for the Cure, regardless of what we do.
Yep. Coming up a month from now in September at the Palace Station at Casino Quest. Guys, if you want any more information about that, contact John over Pro Craps. No, Casino Gaming TV. Yeah. John talks
Don't
about it.
Don't contact us if we know nothing. Contact John.
Nothing.
We know nothing. I'm like Schultz. Like Schultz Starlock 13. I know nothing. Contact John.
Yeah, I see nothing. I know nothing. That's the way it's going to go. Camper, thanks for the comments, and Kevin, we're just on the way out. This show has been way too long. It reminds me of my old days with the Craps Chat show that I used to host from a couple of years ago. All right, I do have to get out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging around. We'll see you on the next one. As always, God bless. Be safe. Play smart.